So, I was just in New York, man. You ever been there? They had a big gay parade going on down there. You ever seen one of these? I never been to one, you know, but I like parades, you know. I love a parade. So I go to the parade, and turns out it's just a bunch of gay guys. Hell of a parade that is, huh? Imagine that on the TV, you know, you got Willard Scott and Faith Daniels. Okay, here's a big parade here. Here we go. It's a bunch of gay guys. Look at there. And here comes some more gay guys there, and there's a bunch more gay guys there. Well, hell of a parade this turned out to be here. But what are you going to do? I wish all gay guys come out of the closet so you know who's gay, nobody cares, everybody just lives together, you know. What I don't like is when you don't know, everybody's suspecting you. You know, especially if you're a guy, you know, no matter who you are, if you're a guy, you know, your buddies are behind your back there, you know. Gee, I haven't seen Fred with a woman for a few days. Well, yeah, now you mention it. He asked me to go swimming with him. Oh, Fred's gay! Come on, let's go tell everybody. Fred's gay over there. What are you going to do, man? Actually, I was reading this book. They said every guy, at some point in his life, questions his sexuality. Like, wonders if maybe they're a big gay themselves, you know? Like, you ever have a moment like that where you wonder maybe you're gay? You know, like maybe you'd be watching the TV there, you know? Geez, that William Shatner's a pretty good-looking guy. Hey, wait a minute, I'm a guy now that I think about it here. Let me see, I'm a guy, William Shatner's a guy. Carry the 3, and then that goes over there, and what the hell kind of what the deuce? Who knows, though, huh? Actually, I was reading this book, get this, they said, every guy, now something, get this is a different thing. Just about to say the same joke I just said. No, this is a completely different joke, but I was reading the same book. I read a lot of gay literature for some reason. Just to shake up my dad a little, you know? But I was reading this other thing in this other book. It said that if you're afraid of homosexuals, it means that deep down inside, you're actually a homosexual yourself. And that kind of worries me, you know, because I'm afraid of dogs. You know, I don't like dogs. Lately, I've had a hankering to drink out of the toilet bowl. You know, that's the funny part there. Yesterday, I sniffed a girl's butt out in the street there, you know. It has nothing to do with the joke, but I thought I'd get it off my chest, you know.
God bless gay guys. I know a lot of them. They're all good guys, you know. Funny guys. One time I was like, you ever see a gay pride parade? That's taking a little too far to me. Being proud or something like that. Because, that's just what you are, man. You're gay. How can you be proud of that? You know what I mean? That's like saying, hey, man, I'm proud of being in English. God damn. I gotta tell you something. I speak English. I can't tell you. My heart wells with pride about that, man. I talk English every goddamn day. I don't get that, man. I can be proud of that. I went to a gay pride parade, man. I seen a guy, they have the parents of the gay guys, you know. God bless them, man. Because some of these guys, and they hold these banners, say, I'm proud of my gay son, you know. Some of these motherfucking guys, you know, you can tell they were in the war and shit, you know. They never thought they'd come with a banner saying, I'm proud of my gay son. You know, the mothers are nice, the guys are like, kind of proud of them, I guess. But seriously, are they actually, you know, bragging about their son being gay? Or they down at work, hey, Billy, man, I gotta tell you something about Jimmy. God damn, we're so proud of him. He graduated Harvard last year, first in the class. God damn smart kid, man. He's articling now, you know, over in the Cambridge area. Oh, my God, next year he should be a full partner. Oh, hey, did I mention he sucks cock? Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this guy loves cock in his mouth, his ass. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I got a picture of him here. Yeah, here's the guy with 5 cocks in his mouth. Right there. God damn, that guy. I don't know how he does it, but I am just so proud of that picture. That's the picture I'm most proud of. him blowing 5 dudes. God bless gay guys.
Wanna get da 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 and get this fix. Come just da 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 da. Just touch my move to the groove now, baby. Feel the rhythm in your bones. Let me see you shake your body, baby. Let me see you moving nice and slow.
Poor Mrs. Lane.
He asked me to watch Chris Farley before he died. He said, you got to come to the after party at SNL, the one he did right before he died. So I go to the after party, and Chris...
Norm or Chris?
Well, me
Who
and
died?
Norm...
Sorry, Joby's still on the phone.
Me and Norm are watching Chris Farley, okay? Norm has to go talk to somebody. He goes, watch Farley. Farley disappears into a bathroom with Andy Dick for 5 minutes. Comes out in 5 minutes, smiling, whatever. Norm goes back and goes, how's it going? I go, well, I got bad news. Farley disappeared into a bathroom with Andy Dick. And I got to tell you, man, there's only 2 reasons a guy goes into a bathroom with Andy Dick. Neither one is good. And Norm went, holy fuck, I hope he's high.
Let me hear this.
I had to help watch. I had to help watch. Okay. So this is how fast Norm is, though. This is a testament to Norm's wit. So I'm at the party, and Norm is talking to somebody, and I'm watching.
Do you have a normal knife?
I'm on coke. I'm coked up. So I see Farley disappear into a bathroom with Andy Dick. Okay, him and Andy go into a bathroom. Yeah. They come out 5 minutes later, they giggling. Norm goes over to me. He goes,
The red.
what's going on with Chris?
Give it to me.
Bad news, bro. He goes, what? I go,
Give me the knife.
"You went to a bathroom with Andy Dick." I said, there's only 2 reasons a man goes into a bathroom with Andy Dick, and neither one of them's good. And Norm looked at me without missing a beat and said, holy fuck, I hope he's high.
Do you get it? I never heard that.
He went, holy fuck, I hope he's high.
Norm is so fucking funny, dude.
Good news he was high.
Whoever sent that, I love you. That is so good.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
He had the complexion of wet cardboard. I've never seen a man look more unhealthy.
Dude, I went to a strip club with him in Toronto.
Me?
We shot a
No.
movie in Toronto. We had chicks hanging.
But you remind me of a guy that's good at fucking.
I love it.
Fucking and sucking.
NORM MACDONALD.
Oh, hey, Chris. What's up?
Dude, I love your show on Netflix. It's so awesome to see you on there and interviewing like all these people and stuff. It's so laid back. It's great.
Yeah, it's fun because I'm getting to interview whoever I want,
Yep.
although that list is running short.
You were always great on Letterman. Did you ever do like Carson?
The first time I ever did the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson with guest host Jay Leno, which wasn't as good as the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. But the guy told me, he said, you're not a Johnny comic, you're more of a Jay comic. I'm like, really? Oh, that sucks. But anyways, Barry Manilow was the other guest, right? So he has these people that follow him around everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
It's all these old ladies and stuff. So the entire crowd was filled with Barry Manilow fans. It was the first time ever doing the show. So right before I was about to go on, Doc Severinsen, the band leader, right?
Yep.
He goes out and he goes, folks, after the break, we'll come back with a comic. It's Barry Manilow's favorite comic. Like he was so nice. And so then I walk out and the crowd like applauds for like a minute.
Wow.
Like it didn't even make any sense. And then they just laugh wherever they feel they should. You know, sometimes it was halfway through a joke. And that was Barry Manilow's favorite comic.
So when you get a call like the Tonight Show saying we want you on there and you're all excited, then they go, it's the night that Jay Leno's hosting. You were bummed out?
Oh yeah, it was this guy. It was this. His name was Jim McCauley, L.A. and he booked the Tonight Show. So I got to L.A. I was like, I'm going to be the last guy, the last comic that he anoints,
Yeah.
And I was like doing spots every night, and then saw me after the show, and he goes, well, you're more of a J comic. And I'm like, well, what is that? What does that mean? And what does that mean? He's like, Jay's taking over. I'm like, no, I know, but I'm like, it'd be cool with Johnny. And he's like, well, if Jay, Jay, if you do good with Jay, Johnny will watch, as if Johnny's going to watch, on his day off, like the guy he hates,
Right.
So it was depressing to get the Tonight Show with guest host Jay Leno.
Yeah, I watch, like a Seinfeld show and stuff, and him and like Gary Shandling really get excited about the whole thing about being on Carson, and I guess I understand that whole thing because like for me to go on to go on Stern, they equate it to that as far as radio. Yeah, but
I mean, that's the closest I've ever been, actually. Well, Letterman or Stern.
Right.
Now I've heard you on Stern. It's great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great going on there.
You always phone him about something, and he's like, "I hear you're getting fired again."
Yeah. That's awesome that he's heard that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's. I think that's the only reason why a lot of these comics will do our shows because they heard me getting fired on Stern.
No, he is the coolest.
Are you going to do another special?
Yeah, I'm going to do another kind of a different type of special.
What do you mean?
But, well, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but when I do, you'll be the first to know.
Good.
If Norm was going to build his super team of like a comedy tour, who would it be? Who would you have on that tour with you?
Oh, I picked Brian Regan.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there'd be three. So it'd be Brian Regan, me, and Chris Bosch.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. No, he's more of just his face.
Yeah, he looks like a Simpson. Right?
Looks like a velociraptor.
Yeah, he does.
A raptor.
He does.
You know what is funny is the other night I was watching when you had Bob Saget on your show, and I videotaped it with my phone.
He said it to all of us.
Yeah, I said it to all my friends about the part where you guys were doing the joke thing, and you see, whenever you start talking about black weed, Saget gets so uncomfortable. Hilarious.
Saget is funny. If you hang out with Saget, he's so famous because he had those two shows that were so gigantic,
Yeah.
So anyways, everyone recognizes him everywhere he goes.
Everywhere.
All they ever say is, "You're Bob Saget." And then he goes, "Thank you."
Would you have taken those gigs, Norm?
Oh, no, I would not, no. I've done stupid non-accepting things before. Like one time I didn't accept this thing, because I don't know how anything works, and then it was a cartoon, and then it became a really popular cartoon, and then later my manager said, "Oh, you would have made huge money off that." I'm like, "Oh, you should have told me." I thought a cartoon was just made no money, But
Norm MacDonald's the greatest, dude. Thanks for coming on again. You're always awesome.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Hey, this occurred to me today. ID, which I had to show it again. There's a strange abbreviation when you think about it. I is short for I. And then D is short for dentification. They could have split that one up a little better, But I watch the TV, I watch the news, make you afraid, the news, Put all these stories on, Iraq, Iran, North Korea, try to scare you, But does it ever really scare you? Like, you ever wake up in the middle of the night, North Korea! That little tiny country across the ocean. I wonder if they'll get me. Plus, didn't MASH settle that like 20 years ago?
That's the great Norm MacDonald here on the Kid Christian.
Other people around the studio here are sick for different reasons.
I don't feel great either.
You don't feel good either?
Not great.
Or it could be viral.
It's possible.
You know this thing that's going on in the middle west of the country, where there's a bacteria, a strain of bacteria
that started in the hospital in the middle of the country, and it's going to spread across the United States and maybe be bigger than the influenza pandemic.
No, I haven't heard about that.
No, I just made it up.
Ah!
But I did hear that the avian flu is really a serious thing.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, because apparently it's in the swine now in China. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so it's moved over to swine. It's not
swine, and for some reason, swine is more. There's more chance of a human contracting it from swine in China. I don't want to say anything about the Chinese people.
No.
But there's more chance that they will get infected by swine than avians, which are really birds, let's face it.
Why do you think that is?
What?
Why do you think that is?
Well, because swine have filthy, swinish sex.
I never thought about that.
Who wants to fuck a bird?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good
so
point.
you see these poor Chinese people, peasants, you know, they're not told what's right or wrong.
Okay.
Anyways, I should explain my face. Because I feel like Ted Kennedy. Because you know how huge it's getting?
Yeah.
All my, every time I eat something, you know how it goes right to your hips? Mine goes right to my head.
So true.
Yeah, and so I feel people think I'm a drunk or something because now, since you led me on that long walk for autism or whatever the fuck we went on.
It was for a sandwich.
Yeah, for a sandwich. So I live in my apartment and never go out.
Right.
And you come over and you go, let's go get a sandwich down the block.
Right.
So we walk a block, and then the sandwich joint is too full. We go, let's walk further down.
Right.
So we go down Abbott Kinney, and then every place we go, what happens?
Well, they were either packed, closed, or it was like, you know, vegan food, which you avoid like the swine flu.
Yeah,
so,
I can't eat vegan food. Billy Bob eats vegan food.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one place wasn't great. They tricked us, I think.
Yeah, they tricked us because we went into the restaurant and it was all like high tone, like modern colors and everything.
Yes.
And there weren't any smelly hippies around.
No.
So we figured, oh, this is a regular restaurant. And then everything on the menu was, I go, you have Coca-Cola? They go, we have cola.
You know, it was like organic cola.
Yeah, it was organic cola.
Yeah.
So I feel drinking organic cola the entire time would just make me think about how it was not Coca-Cola.
Right.
Right? Yeah, this Coca-Cola is great.
Is it helping?
You know, it's interesting. I used to go to comedy clubs, right?
Right.
I mean, I still do. I'm a stand-up comic.
Of course.
I can prove it. And sometimes an establishment will have only Pepsi. I don't know why. But they'll go like, you'll go like, can I have a Coke? And they'll go, is Pepsi okay? And you go, no, it's not good. Because I think they're under the impression that if Coke is your favorite beverage, then Pepsi should be your second favorite beverage, whereas in fact, it's your least favorite.
Right. That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah. And then also, when they have Pepsi, they have they're like, what about, would you like a Muggs root beer? And you're like, I'm not 8, you know, I don't have a fucking root beer. And then
I like root beer.
The guy goes, like, what about Sierra Mist? Well, that's funny. I was going to ask for that. I'm glad you brought that up. I daren't. Whose favorite beverage is that?
Nobody.
Hey, man, I have a pork chop. What do you want with that, sir? You got any Sierra Mist? No. What kind of fucking horse shit is this? Honey, get your coat. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll pull the car around, you get your coat. These fuckers don't have no Sierra Mist. Anyways, I don't know what we're talking about. Anyways, I should explain my face. Because I feel like Ted Kennedy. Because you know how huge it's getting? All my, every time I eat something, You know how it goes right to your hips? Mine goes right to my head.
So true.
Yeah, and so I feel people think I'm a drunk or something because now, since you led me on that long walk for autism or whatever the fuck we went on.
It was for a sandwich.
Yeah, for a sandwich. So I live in my apartment and never go out.
Right.
And you come over and you go, let's go get a sandwich down the block.
Right.
So we walk a block, and then the sandwich joint is too full. We go, let's walk further down.
Right.
So we go down Abbott Kinney, and then every place we go, what happens?
Well, they were either packed, closed, or it was like, vegan food, which you avoid like the swine flu.
Yeah, I can't eat vegan food.
No, that one place wasn't great. They tricked us, I think.
Yeah, they tricked us because we went into the restaurant and it was all like high tone, like modern colors and everything.
Yes.
And there weren't any smelly hippies around.
No.
So we figured, oh, this is a regular restaurant. And then everything on the menu was, I go, you have Coca-Cola? They go, we have cola.
It was like organic cola.
Yeah, it was organic cola.
Yeah.
So I feel drinking organic cola the entire time would just make me think about how it was not Coca-Cola.
Right.
Right? Yeah, this Coca-Cola is great.
Is it helping?
You know, it's interesting. I used to go to comedy clubs, right?
Right.
I mean, I still do. I'm a stand-up comic.
Of course.
I can prove it. And sometimes an establishment will have only Pepsi. I don't know why. But they'll go like, you'll go like, can I have a Coke? And they'll go, is Pepsi okay? And you go, no, it's not good. Because I think they're under the impression that if Coke is your favorite beverage, then Pepsi should be your second favorite beverage, whereas in fact, it's your least favorite.
Right. That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah. And then also, when they have Pepsi, they have they're like, what about, would you like a Muggs root beer? And you're like, I'm not 8, I don't a fucking root beer. And then I
like root beer.
The guy goes, like, what about Sierra Mist? Well, that's funny. I was going to ask for that. I'm glad you brought that up. I daren't. Whose favorite beverage is that?
Nobody.
Hey, man, I have a pork chop. What do you want with that, sir? You got any Sierra Mist? No. What kind of fucking horseshit is this? Honey, get your coat. I don't know what I'm talking. I'll pull the car around. You get your coat. These fuckers don't have no Sierra Mist. Anyways, I don't know what we're talking about. But we're really excited because Billy Bob's here.
Oh, I'm so excited.
God damn, I got questions for him and shit.
He's such a good actor.
Huh?
He's a great actor.
I thought he was a great director.
He's a great director too, but I enjoy his acting in particular. We saw Bad Santa a couple nights ago together.
Yeah.
Well, Thursday.
So you feel that your way of insulting him as a director is to say how good an actor he is?
No, that wasn't my intention at all. No.
You said he's a great director, and you said actor.
No, I said no. He's also a great director.
It's one of those guys that do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some guys that can do like 5, 6 things. Then there's guys like you. I'm just saying it evens out. In the long run, it all evens out.
Yeah.
But he reminds me of one of those old-timey dudes that was like a Renaissance man, good at a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jack of all trades, absolutely.
What's that?
Jack of all trades, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Master of none? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Well, that's the second part of that expression.
I purposely omitted the second part of that.
Because I think he's one of our great. I think he is our greatest director.
What?
Why do you find that so ridiculous?
I thought you were.
Because Sling Blade, I think, is the best movie.
Sling Blade was unbelievable.
In my generation,
that never gets
and he
old.
directed it.
Yeah, and wrote it and starred in it.
Yeah. I'm getting woozy. On Saturday, you went to that place.
That place, yeah, India. Yeah, on Friday and Saturday, I went to Coachella.
You went to India.
Yeah, Indio.
India.
No, not India. Went to Indio, California.
Yeah.
To Coachella, to the music festival.
Coachella, where the damn dirty hippies are.
Sure, there's a lot of different sorts of people, and they mingle and what have you, and take drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
But
are they still against Wall Street?
I'm not a hippie. No, I'm not. Yeah, I mean.
I remember when that Occupy Wall Street started. Mm-hmm. I knew it was going to win.
Of course it's going to win.
I figured Wall Street had a much better chance of winning that particular battle.
Sure, absolutely.
Than a bunch of guys. And also, I don't know how I feel about hippies taking over Wall Street and then putting all the money in fucking hacky sack or whatever.
That's a good point. I never really
I
thought
don't know.
about that way.
I don't know anything about the stock market.
I obviously don't either.
None of us know anything.
No.
Me, you?
No.
What about when you look at it like the NASDAQ is up? You're like,
Yay!
Yay, it's up. I don't like when it's down.
No,
that's what I say.
It's the worst.
That's
you
my
never want it down.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Either way, I'm broke. Doesn't really matter. Looking around, I noticed this Saturday, I don't know if you're aware of it, was 420. And so it was a madhouse over there.
It's April 20th?
No, 420. Yeah, it was April 20th, but 420. You know 420.
No, what's that?
How do you not know? You've never heard of 420? Well, it's a big deal. I mean, it's real popular in the culture right now, and everybody's wearing 420 shirts, and you see 420 bumper stickers, and everyone's talking about it. I frankly, I was a little embarrassed too.
Where did they come up? Why is it 420?
Well, I was wondering the same thing actually, because years ago I saw it for the first time, and I never bothered to look it up. But I figured since I'm on the podcast with you now as your sidekick, I thought I'd maybe research it.
You researched
researched
something?
420, the origin of 420. Finally answered my question.
We're not supposed to research anything.
Well, I was told differently.
Well, how am I supposed to carry on an intelligent conversation when I didn't research it?
I mean, you got a computer. Look, I'll be honest. I just Wikipedia'd it. You can just.
Okay, I'll fucking research it. What's it called?
I think I broke your computer, Daniel.
What is it? What is it?
Just dump it off the top of it, though. Dump it out.
You just go on Wikipedia. Go on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And go to 420.
Okay.
And then type in 420 origins, or just type in 420. That's all I did.
Okay, I got it.
All right, good. So now we're on the same page, right?
Right.
You're on there?
Yeah.
All right. So this is what they say. 420 is a code term used primarily in North America that refers to the consumption of cannabis and, by extension, a way to identify oneself with cannabis subculture.
That's not what mine says.
What does yours say?
Mine says 420 was the birthday of Austrian-born German politician and the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, a fellow went by the name of Adolf Hitler.
Observances based on the number 420 include smoking cannabis around the time 4:20 p.m. as well as on the date April 20th.
No, what date is that? What year?
This was around 1970.
No, this is 1945. What kind of computer do you have?
It's a Mac, Norm. It's a Mac.
Mine's a Dell. I like a Dell.
I know, we covered that.
But this guy, there's a picture of him. Adolf Hitler, very compelling kind of a figure. Odd looking duck. But there's something about his eyes. Hypnotic.
Anyway, a widely discussed story says that a group of teenagers in San Rafael, California, used the term in connection to a fall 1971 plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop that they had learned about.
Huh? His eyes are almost entirely black. He was a decorated veteran of World War I. And he joined the war. Hold the fort. He hated Jews.
These guys, they plan to meet precisely.
You know what he reminds me of? Dave. My best friend
buddy.
Dave.
Yeah, I know Dave.
That guy hates Jews.
He sure does. I hear about it all the time.
I'm thinking of breaking up our friendship.
It's probably a good idea.
But anyways, you know what? I'm sick of these kind of characters. I think we should kill Hitler. Me and you go suicide, kill him.
Yeah, it was like died 50 years ago, probably.
Did he? I didn't even know he was sick.
He wasn't. Well, no, that's fine.
I wish I could find a Hitler of today and go kill him. We'll be back with Billy Bob Thornton. I finally saw it, I was like, holy God. And then this is what I like too about it. There's a million things to like about that movie, everybody knows. But that, I think whatever you call him, a retard or whatever word you would use for Carl, killed a guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any other retard in any other movie ever killed a guy. And yet in real life, serial killers, I mean not serial killers, but killers of a lot, are sub-level IQ usually. They're not, you know what I mean? Like they usually portray the killer as Hannibal Lecter.
Like an evil genius.
Yeah. In real life, they're guys with 50 IQs. That
Right.
Did Lenny kill a guy, you think?
Well, Lenny killed rodents and
Right.
things.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess he killed a guy, didn't he? I don't remember. It's been a long time, but I know he. I think he petted a rabbit to death.
He petted a rabbit to death.
Yeah.
That's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why do you have to say any other example?
I apologize. What was your cross-country bus trip like?
Yeah, that's not...
the one, I know the one she's talking about. I had several. The one on this trip she's talking about, I just didn't have any money, I went from Little Rock to San Diego, it was in like 77, and there was this girl on the bus, and we stopped at the bus station, and when you're on the bus, they stop at like every little stop, they pick up mail, and you go in, and some of them have a buffet.
Right, right.
Well, they had some peach cobbler that looked great to me, and I was like this long-haired, skinny little freak, and starving to death all the time. And so this peach cobbler was pretty inviting, so I got it. My buddy Tom, who was with me, he said, I don't know if I'd eat that. It looks awful. We get back on the bus, and then when you go through West Texas, there's literally nothing until you get to this town called Big Spring, Texas. Mm-hmm. And so we're going across the desert, and the bus driver always tells you the next stop is 250 miles or whatever. So it's at nighttime and there's nothing out there. It's pitch black. And so I kept an eye on this girl who was sitting up in the front. I was sitting in the back being bothered by this guy who said he was going to pick up a truck somewhere and wanted to know if I wanted some whiskey. It was a bizarre guy. And anyway, it was the beginning of one of those movies, And why don't you come to my cabin? So anyway, this girl looked really good. And so I wanted to talk to her. I said to Tom, I think I'm going to go talk to the girl. He goes, why not? We're on a bus. She can't escape, So I go up and I sit down next to her, and I start talking to her, and she liked me, which was great. And so I just kept talking to her, and I think I told her I was in Thin Lizzy. But anyway, obviously not the singer.
It's Thin, right?
Thin Lizzy? Yeah, the band. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Phil on.
Yeah, right. And so one way or the other, I was trying to impress her, and I was trying to think of somebody that she might not know, but she kind of heard of. I couldn't say I was in the Beatles.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, while I'm sitting there with her, all of a sudden it felt like somebody had stabbed me in the gut, with a knife, and my stomach started making, the noises that there ain't no denying, what's happening, what I mean? And I mean, just horrible. God, it sounded like I had a wildcat in my stomach. And so, and then that moment hit me when I knew I've got awful food poisoning or something. This is not good. And if I don't get up now, it's going to be too late. And here I am sitting by the girl. Not a real good first impression. So I get up, and I can't show you here, but the legs together, ass squeeze walk. I'm doing that all the way down the bus aisle, And so I get to the bathroom, and the bathroom in a bus, it's just the little corner back there.
Right.
And there's a seat right next to it that's smaller than the other seats. It's like a two-person seat right here, and then no seats over here. So I go into the bathroom just in the nick of time, seriously. Like literally on the way down to the toilet, I'm already spraying the place. And so I get down there, and there's the lock is off. There's no handle, there's no lock. The door just kind of goes like this, and there's this old couple sitting out there. And so I'm sitting in the toilet holding this little knob with 2 fingers, and people are trying to come in, when you're in the bathroom, people are trying to do it. So I've got it with 2 fingers, they got a whole handle out there. So they get to open it like that far, you know what I mean? And so then they see me sitting there, looking like Charles Manson. And one way or the other, just nasty, horrible explosions, and a very, very bad trip. And then there was no toilet paper.
Oh.
used my underwear. They went in the trash can, and then pulled my pants back up and went back by Tom, and never saw the girl until we got to Big Spring. And I didn't, go up to her or anything. I just went in the bathroom and sort of cleaned myself up. But it was, I mean, most people won't tell stories on themselves like that, but I don't really give a shit.
I love it.
When you win the Lincoln Center Award, you should tell that story.
That's great. Absolutely. Yeah, you know what? If I ever get to meet, like, the Pope or somebody like that, I'll say, hey, check this out. I got this crazy story. You're not going to believe this.
Yeah. Hey, you worked with Burt Reynolds.
Yes, I did work
on
with
the
Burt Reynolds.
TV show. Right?
Yeah, on Evening Shade. Yeah.
Do you have any crazy Burt Reynolds stories?
No, not really, because Burt, Burt had some wild times and everything. For some reason, he kind of took me under his wing, and he always liked me, and he actually helped me a lot in the beginning, and he was always really good to me. He did hit me one time live in front of an audience, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't say my lines.
Slap?
He hit me with an open hand, but in the lung, and he's got arms like Popeye, those big forearms. And in the thing, I'm supposed to hit him. I'm supposed to slap him on the back and say something which pisses him off or whatever. And I come out there before the live audience, and when we rehearsed it, he said, I'm an old stunt man, so hit me as hard as you can. And I guess I hit him really hard because his natural reaction, I guess, was to hit me in the lung. And I couldn't talk, and they had to sort of suspend the big show for a few minutes while I got my breath back. But other than that, yeah, he was always really good to me.
Yeah, I always try to get him. Like whenever I had anything, I go get Burt Reynolds. Like he'd be the coolest. And then people go, no, you don't want to work with him. He's crazy. And then I go, no, I do want to work with him. I don't want to fucking work with you.
Yeah, right.
like crazy seems like such a dismissive. Don't you think like people have been denied work and shit just because people go, that guy's crazy?
Yeah.
And it has no meaning to it really.
Yeah.
It usually means creative to me or something.
That's right.
Or he's difficult. Who wants to work with some fucking simpleton?
Right.
You know what I mean? But it seems in Hollywood like
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
I found that, yeah. I found that usually when somebody says, oh, you don't want to work with this person or that person, they're very difficult. It usually means they don't want to do stupid shit. They want everything to be right. And, I mean, maybe not all cases, but, and like you said, usually when they say, oh, somebody's crazy, but craziness is part of being an actor. I mean, whatever they call crazy. I mean, you wouldn't want to get like a guy like Jeffrey Dahmer or something like that. I mean, you wouldn't want anybody who might eat you at lunchtime, but that was his name, right? Jeffrey Dahmer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, got killed by a broomstick raped to death.
Really? That's
they say it's one of the worst ways to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. On the list of the 1,000 ways. Yeah,
they say drowning is very peaceful.
Right.
Broomstick rape.
Not good. Yeah. Well, how did you and Norm meet? I said, I always would end up, it's not like we hung out at, the deli every night together, but Norm and I always ended up at these functions that we kind of had to be at. And I said, well, probably the way Norm and I really bonded was because we were the only other person that we wanted to talk to there. Right. Like we'd just end up in the corner talking to each other because we'd be looking around thinking, why are we here? When we did Armageddon, it was like the first time I'd ever been in a big movie, and so I was sitting there with Owen Wilson, and Owen, not many people knew Owen at the time. He wasn't as big a deal yet, and Steve Buscemi was there, and Will Patton, and we were all sitting over here, and here's Jerry Bruckheimer and Michael Bay and Bruce Willis and all these cats, and I was sitting over there, and Buscemi was looking over at Owen, and they was looking at me, and all of a sudden Buscemi looks at me and he goes, what the fuck are we doing here?
That's a great Buscemi.
That's a good Buscemi impression.
Your OCD, does it get worse when you get stressed, like when stress increases, right?
It's worse when you don't have anything to do. Mm-hmm. As long as you can focus on something, you're okay.
Right.
But there was a guy who had, what's the thing where you bark?
Tourette's.
Yeah, Tourette's, yeah. I knew a guy who had Tourette's, which is a really bad affliction. I mean, it must take up a lot of energy, and everything. And there was some cat, I think up in the northern states somewhere, I can't remember, but he was a theater actor. And as long as he was on stage, he didn't bark. But as soon as he came off stage, he would bark, and he was also an archer. And so he would like draw, he would bark, and he would draw a bead on the bullseye, hit the bullseye. It was great, you know. And as soon as he would hit the thing, then he would throw his head back and start cussing and barking and stuff. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
I could watch that guy for hours.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I can do stand-up, and then when I walk through the crowd, I'm all freaked out.
Right.
And then I'm on stage. But when I'm on stage, I just feel alone. I think that's why. And I don't look at anyone. And, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
And I'm in complete control.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm talking to myself.
So that's not scary being a stand-up for you.
No. You know what? I think like people's fear, like they always go like, number one fear, public speaking.
Right.
To me, it would be bowel cancer or something. Like I sometimes.
That's good.
Sometimes I'll go like I'll be in a cab and then I'm talking to the guy's the funniest guy I've ever met. You know, he's like, I don't know how you do it. You know, I'm like, what the? You're way the fuck funnier than me. But I'm glad you think it's
That's
so
great.
difficult. You know,
Right.
because if it wasn't, like, you know, I think of all my relatives that were great anecdotalists and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But there's this feeling that they can't do it. You know.
Right.
And they, of course you can.
I read, a little off topic, I had to ask you this. I read that you trained your parrot by playing Captain Beefheart album. I'm a huge Captain Beefheart fan, and I don't know, is that true? Or a bird?
I just wanted to see what would happen. Yeah, I had a minor bird.
Minor birds.
Yeah.
They're better than parrots.
Yeah, they're better because they can really talk.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly those African gray parrots can just talk to you like, you know, anybody. It'd be like you're sitting here talking with, you know, Mel Brooks or something, and there's this parrot. You know. But yeah, mine was a minor bird, and her name was Alice. She died about 4 years ago. She was she lived, you know, 10 or 12 years. A great bird, and she was. I had a roommate who hated my girlfriend, and the bird would say, we can say whatever we want, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So the bird would say, God damn it, I wish she'd get out of here. Because he would hear my roommate.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And the inflection was good too. It was like, God damn it, you know, just like my roommate. And but yeah, I had to be gone one time, and I put on this loop of Captain Beefheart. And she had a couple of things that sort of had that sort of Captain Beefheart sound, you know, that thing, you know, and she did a couple of things like that.
That's pretty cool.
But I just wanted to see what she would do if I played Captain Beefheart. I was supposed to play this bird CD that I got with her, you know, but I didn't play that. It was just kind of boring.
What if you came back one day and your minor bird was like, fuck me hard before my husband, Billy Bob Thornton, comes back home. That'd be bad. That's why I would never do that.
That was in a movie, wasn't it? Where like it was in a Pink Panther movie, I think, where the parrot told him where like the bad guy was or something because he was in there listening.
One of the Peter Sellers one?
Yeah, I think that was in one of those.
No, the Steve Martin one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was I was referring to the cartoon or the movie.
That was good. There's something that actors say to each other sometimes, and like even or producers or whoever they are, and maybe the public even says it, but they'll say they'll say, you really made some brave choices, and that was really brave of you to play that part. And I always thought, are you shitting me? But they get real serious.
Yeah.
It's like the people that stand there and look at a painting of a fucking stick or something and go, we see, it's like before the universe expanded, and no, it's not. It's like some guy who really sold a bill of goods to you assholes. That's what it is. It's like because it has his name on it. If I told you I painted that, you'd say, fuck you, you prick. It's horrible. You know, whatever.
Yeah,
of course.
But like because you know Jean blah 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 did it. It's like look at that stick. Pretty amazing, right?
I used to do that because I think sometimes you think up something wise, right?
Right.
Just every person.
Yeah.
And then, like, I would say, like, so I'd think of something that was sort of wise sounding. Like, one time I thought of this thing, better sorry than safe. Right. So I told my buddy, I go, I thought this thing, I think it's pretty wise. Like, better sorry than safe. He's like, it sucks. So then I'm like, so now what I do if I think of it, I'll go, as Benjamin Franklin once said, better sorry than safe. And they'll go, yeah, that's good. And then I'll go, I said it, you fucker.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It would be great if we had, I mean, well, yeah, like that thing about being brave as a performer or whatever.
Or generous.
Yeah, right. Yeah, generous is another one, you know. But if, you know, it's brave to like chase a guy down who's stolen a woman's purse and beat her up and, you know, and you get stabbed a few times in the gut. That's brave.
Extremely.
You know, it's not brave to play, I don't know, George Washington or something like that, you know, did you see his Washington? You know, his Washington.
His Washington. You know, people like pigeonhole you. This is going to sound retarded, but Adam Egan knows this. My dream is to be a country music writer.
It's true.
So I write all this country music, and then once, I'm friends with Billy Joe Shaver.
Oh, me too, yeah.
Isn't he the greatest guy ever?
The best.
And I wrote, it took me like 2 weeks to write this song to send to him, and then I didn't send it. Because his songs are so fucking good. And then I felt weird sending this graffiti over to him.
Oh, you should send it
I should send it.
I thought you did send it.
I never sent it. I cowered it out.
Yeah, you did.
I talked to him.
Yeller.
Because I go on the road doing stand-up, and I phone him, and he's on the road doing even worse gigs than me. Like, I go, where are you? He's like, I'm at Knuckle Busters. And
I know.
You're a fight going on in the back and shit.
That's the shame
and
of
this guy's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the classic guys, you know, who are out there, like Billy Joe. There's a lot of cats in Texas, especially, you know, Joe Ely and Billy Joe and people like that, and Jimmy Vaughn. A lot of guys who are just classics, and they're only known in like these cult circles, you know, and he's one of the greatest songwriters ever. And like you said, you'll see him playing at a place with like 60 people, and the guy won't give him his money at the end of the night and stuff like that, you know.
No, it's amazing.
Well, you'd probably give him his money.
The stories I've heard, I would definitely give him his money.
But you know, people hate country. You know, like sometimes people go like, country music, just your dog died and your wife left you and you're a drunk. And I'm like, well, that's life. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but you have to understand, these are really smart people telling you that.
Yeah.
These are the people that like Pitbull. These are the people that think it's better to write one line and repeat it over and over in a song. That's a lot better.
It's all right to be very prejudiced against Southerners, right? I mean, did you feel that when you were in the South?
Oh yeah, I still feel it's. I mean, there's a prejudice in Hollywood against Southerners for sure. Yeah,
the way they're portrayed.
Yeah, because for one thing, they let anybody portray Southerners. It doesn't matter. In other words, it's hard for me to get a job playing a guy from the Bronx, but you can get a guy from the Bronx to play a Southerner just like that, and everybody thinks it's okay. And then they say, "Did you see that?" And he's doing that accent that doesn't exist. You know that. Well, listen here, I'm the chef, and boy, by this evening, I'm going to get you. And it's like. I grew up down there. I never heard anybody talk like that except on a cartoon, you know.
Brave performance.
Yeah, it was. Now that's brave.
Yeah,
you know,
seriously though.
Yeah, right.
It's shocking, but it's okay. They're allowed to do that.
Bill Bob's a vegan.
I didn't know that. I wish I could be a vegan.
Well,
Bill Bob's a vegan.
I didn't know that. I wish I could be a vegan.
Well, sort of.
I read in his book, but he hangs out in his backyard wanting to shoot a squirrel's eye out at 40 feet.
Yeah, but that's just. My father was killed by a squirrel, and so I have, you know, no. But no, but yeah, I'm a vegan mainly because I'm allergic to so much. I'm allergic to wheat and dairy and shellfish and different things like that.
So that's not ethical at all.
Not really. I mean, and I do eat meat occasionally. I have turkey occasionally, and my little girl, she's 8. She won't let me eat fish because she has fish. And so every time she gets another animal, you can't eat it then. So for some reason, she doesn't give a shit about cows or turkeys. So that you can eat that if you want, but no fish, no chicken. Yeah.
Norm, he looked at a couple of the comments. He gathered a bunch of comments from the people on YouTube, and they said some pretty hurtful things.
Are you gonna play it?
Well, yeah, I thought we maybe show him what it's.
Show him what you're talking
about. Let's roll the clip.
I care about the folks at home.
Right.
Daniel Kellison gave me a big bunch of comments. This first one is from MonkFan72. He says, I love this podcast. It was great to see Norm MacDonald back, and Super Dave was the perfect choice as first guest. Lose the douchebag.
He's talking about me.
Well, we don't know if he's talking about
He's clearly talking about me.
He is talking about you.
Let's hear another one then.
All right.
Let's hear another one.
What's the deal with that fucking douchebag?
Are there any good ones?
I'll look.
Okay.
Not good. I found one.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a positive one. Thoroughly enjoyed it from top to bottom.
Great.
One minor problem. The set.
Oh.
It's just too distracting. Why are there so many clocks? We're not tuning in to see what time it is in Hong Kong. We're tuning in to listen to comedians doing comedy. Plus some douchebag, I don't know who he was, but I'd like to punch him right in the fucking face. That's what you think. We don't even know what the people think, right?
It's crazy. You know, well, first of all, here's what I would say. My advice to you, think about what douchebags get to do. Think about how, you know what I mean?
I do.
I would embrace it. I would embrace the whole douchebag thing because that seemed to be the term that kept popping up. And I would just go with it. I mean, if you're going to be a douchebag, be the best douchebag you can be.
Best douchebag I can be. That's great advice, actually.
You're
You know,
Exactly.
hell did I know.
I watch old 70s shows and shit, and it's amazing how real time everything is. Like Frank Cannon will get in his car, drive, you see the car, then the car parks, he gets out, finds out, like everything. There's no quick...
oh, no, never. And Cannon was fantastic because Cannon weighed 400
Oh,
pounds. And he would catch these guys. I mean, he's going down the alley with his 38 up in the air like this, huffing and puffing, you know. And he was gigantic. And he would catch like these two, 18-year-old armed robbers or something, bust their heads together, and then go back and have a cigarette and say, well, that was a good day's work or whatever, and then freeze frame on him and a cheeseburger,
Then he went on to Jake and the Fat Man.
Right, exactly.
Which was, I always thought that would be a tough call for the agent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What's my character?
You remember Dramalog, right? It's like Dramalog. You know about Dramalog?
I don't.
Well, Dramalog was like the actors' sort of want ads, or I guess you might say, and for theater especially, but then TV shows and movies. And in those days, we didn't know that if they are advertising in Dramalog, this is not a real part, and it's not in a real movie. I mean, maybe sometimes, but we would look through there, and it would have these descriptions, and we used to think about like Pals virus. It would describe a guy that's like, this hideously ugly 6'6" creep, whatever. And the guy who's sitting at home and looking through the magazine, he goes, "That's me." Finally, a part for a hideous 6'6" creep, and so. And I would always, look through there for things for me, and I was like, a guy who just got here from Arkansas, whatever.
I always wonder why they had to be so cruel in the credits, ugly fat pig. It's like, well,
yeah.
And we have a question from, look at these crazy names they have on the internet. Edward Smith. So he says, Billy, do you have any weight loss tips for Norm? I've become a big fat guy. I thought it was
You're
a
not
good...
a big fat guy.
I gained 45 pounds since
really?
It was my New Year's resolution. I decided it's so hard to keep New Year's resolutions. Why not go for one you'll... I've been eating and eating. It's sort of fun, but now I'm losing my breath a little.
Yeah, that happens because your diaphragm's pushed up into here. Yeah, that's all it is. But I mean, simple stuff is like two of the things that are the worst are the ones I'm allergic to: wheat and dairy.
Yeah.
Like if you eat a lot
blessed.
of pasta, like if you eat a lot of pasta and bread, that's one of the bad things. It puts a lot of weight on you.
Fish sticks?
Yeah, fish sticks would probably, anything fried would be pretty bad.
Because those goddamn
Because you
packages
love
of fish
those, don't you?
sticks, I love them, and they don't say when you're supposed to stop on the side.
They don't. That's what we need. We need more warnings. But if you, stop the wheat and dairy for a while, see what happens. And also, if you want to, like if you have to look a little thinner, like suddenly for something, if you want your face to do that, squeeze lemons in your water.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He did have advice.
And take cayenne pepper. Eat a lot of cayenne pepper.
Didn't Dr. Doug have a thrombary embolism from cayenne pepper?
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't even know what Dr. Doug is. No. Hey, this is where we do the jokes.
Nice. I think there's nothing cooler than being a lone wolf, except at wolf picnics when you don't have a partner for the wolf wheelbarrow races.
From her California home, the mother of 14 children packed up and left their property in Palmdale after being asked to leave for not paying her rent for the month of April. The single parent, whose real name is Nadia Suleman, exited leaving a huge mess and the stench of urine inside the pad. Wait, it says here the urine has been traced back to Adam Egget.
I don't know.
A Georgia high school is planning to merge their formerly all-black and all-white proms into a single event. The theme of this June's dance, an evening of unbridled race war. That's pretty good.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I have a deal. What are they called there, where you get to have sex with a certain list of people? I should have put that on there. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know. So my girlfriend and I have a deal where we have one celebrity that we can sleep with, and it's not considered cheating. Mine is that woman who plays Medea.
I don't know that.
It's Tyler Perry.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. So, no. Yeah. In Kansas, a gay rights activist named Aaron Jackson paid $83,000 to buy a house across from the homophobic Westboro Baptist Church and had it painted rainbow colors. Mr. Jackson plans to recoup his investment by, well, actually, there's no plan. Have fun living in a hideous house in Kansas across from some vicious bigots. That's pretty good.
It's Earth Day, the one day of the year where you can jerk off outside and nothing bad can happen. I don't know what Earth Day is.
I'm not sure.
Not sure what Earth is. All right. So much of these are gay.
A new study shows that most men can identify a gay man by his face alone. It's the face that's buried in another man's asshole.
All right, Billy Bob Thornton's been our guest. Thanks a lot, Billy Bob. You're the best.
Nice to meet you.
Peace. Thank you for watching, everyone. Next week, Larry King. For updates, subscribe right here.
Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. As his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis.
Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right.
I have to know one thing before you go today. I know there are other questions, but you say that you there were distinguishing characteristics on the president's private parts. For America, please tell us what that is. Well, we've got to know.
Well, it was like that.
Oh, God.
It was.
It turned. Okay, that was it. Thank you. Well,
I hate fake humility.
The idea of like somebody being good for the cause or the resistance or whatever. First of all, that's meaningless. The fucking, you know, you got to go back and look at all that Norm MacDonald shit. You know that interview Norm MacDonald did where he was like, oh yeah, everybody thought Hitler was hilarious prior to him running to power, you know, or like getting into power. There was comics about him and everyone thought he was a big joke. And then he did the Holocaust. So there goes your notion of comedy being powerful.
Yeah, that's
like,
the one where he's like,
Norm rules.
If you
man.
tell
He
me
gets everything
one,
right.
if you tell me one socially relevant joke that's funny, I'll give you $1 million.
Norm fucking rocks.
And they're like, what about all this identity-based comedy, like Aziz and Amy Schumer? He's like, yeah, everyone expects comedians to be modern-day philosophers, which I think is really insulting to modern-day philosophers.
People go to school, study philosophy.
He's like, you're not a philosopher because you try to fuck waitresses.
I know, man. Norm fucking rocks.
He's the best.
Have you
man.
seen the new special? I haven't finished all of it.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's good.
It was good.
And they dropped retard like 4 or 5 times in the article.
That was, by the way, that was the funniest part of Norm MacDonald getting in trouble for whatever.
Is in the apology.
In the apology, it's like, you'd have to be someone with Down syndrome not to feel sorry for victims.
Real bad sexual abuse.
I do too.
Rape, everything.
Yes.
And they go
destroys
through.
Their
it destroys their life. They're never the same.
Oh, of course not.
Their whole bodies shake at the thought of it. Some of them even black out when they think about this thing. It's horrible. So
I know that. And of course, you know, you'd have to have Down syndrome.
Not to know that.
My new word.
Down syndrome. Right. That's a good word.
You'd have to have Down syndrome to not feel sorry for, you know, of course Me Too is what you want for your daughters. You know what I mean? And
he is our guy. He's a champion.
He is our guy.
He's a fucking champion.
He's the best stand-up in the
once
world.
the smoke clears from all of this shit and it's okay to rape girls again, they should build a statue for Norm MacDonald.
Well, he didn't rape anyone.
I know he didn't rape anyone, but
he's
to say
actually
that,
like you. He's like anti-horny.
Of course, but he's like that.
Nah, he's horny. He's just ashamed of it, like Nick.
No, to do that in apology is masterful.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because he knows exactly.
He knows what he's doing.
I think he's kind of removed enough from society. I had a long conversation with my friend Max about this, but yeah.
Well, if you had a conversation with Max.
We don't have to talk about it.
I didn't realize Max already settled.
Max weighed in.
Yeah, we can talk to Max about it. We bring Max on the pod.
This motherfucker said it like he literally talked to Norm.
No. We already had a long time. Me and Max,
we talked about it.
Me and my landlord already figured this out.
Me and my landlord. No, his mom is my landlord.
Anyway, well, at least you guys got to the bottom of it.
No, we randomly talked about it for 40 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, that's so calculated. Like Norm knows that that's going to piss people off, and his fans are going to think it's hilarious." But
it did piss people off, and his fans
did think it was hilarious.
Vis-a-vis me,
and
Stavros.
He's the best.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
he's the best.
To throw that in his apology.
That's my new word, Down syndrome.
That's my new word. I'm going to start using that.
What an apology! Unbelievable.
And then he had a third apology.
Did he?
I think he fucked up again.
That rule.
Yeah. He should just see how much he could fuck up, because who gives a shit, right?
Well, part of the interview, the first interview, made me think that maybe he wasn't doing bits and he is kind of removed from society. Like when he said that he doesn't know racism, he didn't know racism existed until he saw the new Sacha Baron Cohen show.
I love Norm, but I also do
okay.
think he is out of touch as hell.
Yeah, I mean, he's in comedy clubs 250 nights a year. He's like constantly, or gambling.
Also, the thing about Norm MacDonald, like I read his book, and even though it's like a fictionalized thing, it's like that motherfucker like grew up in a farm in like in rural ass Canada. Like his life is his childhood is close to like the Great Depression than like living in modern society.
Well, I think some of that was like hammed up for.
I know it was, but still, I mean, I don't think it's literal, but he did grow up in like
his book is
rural
so
Canada in like
good.
the 40s, 50s. Like how old is he?
I don't know.
What if it comes out too?
Later than that.
Norm MacDonald is threatening Seth Simons on the.
What does he say?
So Seth Simons goes same energy, and he posted a picture of the Joker and Donald Trump, which is like,
oh my god,
you fucking loser!
And fucking Norm MacDonald wrote, "Hey, you fucking piece of shit. It's you that's the Joker, a failed stand-up that kills someone who got a TV show. I cannot wait to meet you, and I will.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. That's so sick.
That is awesome. Norm's just like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck.
Is it really my fault? 'Cause you try to hit me with your pity till I can't trust, but I still push on. Got me changing my ways, trying to fix it.
I'm still figuring out what's going on. I'm looking at Ashley
Is that
Judd and I can't help
Mark
it.
Norm MacDonald?
No. No.
That could be a new character.
No, it can't. They're too similar.
Yeah, there's not
they
enough.
really sound similar.
Come on, Adam.
They
you know
don't
the
sound
formula.
similar. They fucking
Their jokes are similar.
they're both comedians.
They're both observational.
Yeah.
comics.
Well, how would you even do that? Try that out for a spin, Adam.
Well, I'd just do like a Norm joke, and then I'd say kidding. Or
Kidding.
something.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, you're right.
All right. I don't know.
It's not good, but
It's not good,
but it's
it
functional.
works. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
I'll give you that, and also give you 5 3/4 of something else.
On the subject of SNL, and it's sweet when you took over for Norm, and Gilbert and I haven't said anything. Gilbert, I don't know. Have you spoken publicly since Norm passed about him, Gil?
I don't know if
We haven't said anything on this show,
Yeah.
which we would like to do now. You both knew him well, but the bartender speech when you took over, and obviously it was a very awkward period for you.
Oh God!
To be stepping into that role, and also a friend's job.
Yes, yeah. It was like we lived in the same building too.
You know how you go to your favorite bar and your local bartender isn't there? You ask, where's Jeff? Jeff no longer works here. I'm Steve. And you're thinking, hey, who's this idiot? I like Jeff. But you still want your drink? And even though Steve doesn't mix your drink the same way you're used to, like Jeff, you still like the bar. You don't have to go to a different bar. And even Steve might feel kind of bad because Jeff trained him.
Did he ever say anything to you about that? Did he ever give you a
He
blessing?
was so he was so classy in not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all.
You have that
It was-
great I'm Steve, what can I get you?
Yeah.
The bartender piece.
Well, I'm Steve. What can I get you?
But I wish it would have stayed the way it was. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Norm is he's so funny. He was so distinctively funny. You know,
Nobody
he's got a
like
lot of-
him, really.
No, he had his own thing. You know what I mean? He was just very well, like Gilbert. I mean, they just have their own. They march to their own drummer, even in a business where everybody marches to their own drummer. They both have that, you know, idiosyncratic thing where it just be like, this is how I am, and that's it, and it's great. But you know, you have to tune to their frequency. You know, it's not like you can just, you know.
You know what's funny about that first update you did? Here's Norm being fired, as we all know, by Don Ohlmeyer,
right?
Because of cutting too close to the bone with the OJ jokes. When in fact he was doing a public service by telling those OJ jokes. And I'm watching you do your first update. There's an OJ joke. It's like the third joke.
Yeah.
In the February issue of Esquire magazine, O.J. Simpson said that if I had killed Nicole, it would have been because I loved her very much. And then he said, and if I had killed Ron Goldman, it would have been because he accidentally witnessed me loving Nicole very much. Somebody should buy this guy a John Gray book, all right?
You shook his hand once? OJ? Getting out of a car?
Well,
Or he was getting out of a limo?
He was getting out of a limo middle of the afternoon, and I have no psychic energy. I've never had those kinds of things, you know. But for whatever reason, this was in an afternoon. He's getting out of a limo with a girl. It's spring break. It's packed with people. It's Florida. And they're like, hey, do you want to meet OJ? I go, yeah, OJ, he's greatest running back of all time. You know, great, charming movie star. I shake his hand. He shakes my hand. And he's not even looking at me. He's looking past me. And he shakes my hand. And I felt like a jolt of, like, evil. I swear to God.
It's like the Dead Zone.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like. And I was like, I go, that was weird, OJ. I love OJ. Well, that was weird energy, you know.
Wow. So you picked up on something.
I feel like I did, It's, of course, in retrospect, but I remember telling people at the time, so.
I was also fond of, going back to your SNL bits, Colin Quinn explains the New York Times.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the St. Pat's editorial and Joe Blow. You look like you were having fun, and the best stuff is you and Norm together.
That's right. That's right.
There's obviously an affection that comes across on the screen.
Yes, yeah. And that was the early days of it. It was great.
I'm sorry we never managed to get him here. We tried, and for whatever reason, he was as elusive as you.
He's more elusive. He's like,
he was.
I love to do it. I'd love to. You're like, oh, good. How about next week? Yes. What day? And you're like, okay. Yeah. He's like, all right, call him and we'll set it up. Next week is perfect because I'm doing this. And you're like, hey, I'll say Norm. Years later, what happened? What? I thought I was going to come on your show. What happened? It's like, oh, Jesus, Norm.
Well, like you say, march to his own drum.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember meeting OJ at a party years ago, and it turns out he was a fan.
Uh-oh.
And he did an imitation of me, and to this day, I wish I had like that on film.
Because
it would be like Charles Manson doing an imitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wonder if people, like you say, you don't like people who are not hardworking. I wonder, are there people who worked as hard as Steve did and does?
I was thinking when I said it that there's an exception. I know we're both admirers of Norm MacDonald, and he seems sometimes like someone who has something. It's his cadence. It's the way he talks. I don't know if he's a hardworking comic, but God, he makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. And his cadence, something is just wrong about it,
But I love Norm, and my guess is, what I know of Norm is that he may not be working hard.
No.
But what he has is the same result as somebody who's worked hard.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, again, enviable, admirable. But God, he makes me laugh. And I happened across some of his time on Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you watch it now, you realize Norm just didn't care if it got a laugh.
No. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And he had a joke. I think Downey wrote the joke. It was during the OJ trial. And there's a picture of Johnny Cochran holding up the knit cap with OJ sitting next to him. And God, no one could do this but Norm. Norm said, a little bit of a wrinkle for OJ in the trial today. Johnny Cochran stood up and held the knit cap that was found at the scene of the double murders when OJ jumped up and said, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap. Who else could do that?
Right.
And he doesn't. And if it got nothing, he would stare.
Yeah.
And tell you your problem.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the best. Dark but fantastic,
right.
and also no one could do it but him.
No, that's what I was going to say. I would, if somebody had pitched that joke to me at the height of the OJ trial, I would have laughed and not done it. Would you have done that joke?
No, I would not have done that.
Yeah.
I would have been queasy and it's tragedy and it was theater of some kind, theater of the absurd.
But the delivery, the persona, and the material, it's
perfect,
powerful. Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of entertaining celebrities, but Norm MacDonald used to come on our show in the early days, and those were, I thought, great television because we never knew it was happening, and it was always teetering on the edge of it was all about to blow up. It's all about to fail, and it would always end brilliantly. And then he stopped coming around, and it was just a period that passed. And I was always sad about that because I thought we're a very celebrity-conscious age, and people always think that the best guests are the biggest celebrities. Sometimes, the best guests are these people that you have a weird connection with, and it's compelling television. people see and they talk to me about it later on. Like I'll be out in the world walking around and people will say, I saw that when you were with Harlan or when you were with Norm or with Ron. That really got wild and crazy in a way that they don't see on television now.
Have you, over the years, who are some of the people who have been your go-to people that I just remember Dave in his early years had Terry Garr and he had Sandra Bernhard.
Yes.
And they were kind of magic together. Who are your...
I had so many people. Norm MacDonald was this person who would come, you all know Norm MacDonald, but Norm MacDonald, when we'd have him on in the early days, to this day I've never interviewed anybody like Norm MacDonald.
Who was the best guest that you've ever interviewed, and who was the worst?
I love Will Ferrell. I also love Norm MacDonald because he comes on and his stories are all invented. None of them are real. They're all old farmers' daughters jokes. And he pretends he'll come on. I'll say, "What's up, Norm?" He'd be like, the other day I was walking down the road and a pirate comes up to, I'm like, "What?" Yeah, a pirate comes along and he's got 3 pigs with him. One of them is wearing a hat, one's got a pipe, and then it's just a complete waste of everybody's time that's absolutely delightful and hilarious. And so I love him.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm MacDonald,
Yes.
this might go off the rails really fast type of guys.
Yeah. I mean, Norm MacDonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that Norm MacDonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, "Hey, Bill, tell me, well, and remember when I was living in Chestnut Hill once," and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, "Norm, what are you up to?" And I mean really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, "Well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan." I'd be like, "Really? You purchased a..." Yeah, I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters." And I'm like, "You have 3 daughters?" "Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, kind of, well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly." And I'd be like, "Well, one day, this traveling salesman comes to the farm, and he says, now, Norm, I tell you. And then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah.
But
about halfway through where it's going.
I mean, I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that, no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes. We call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually where we could just queue it up on command?
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw You saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, "Oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith." And I'll think, that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like 85 now.
What's it like working with Norm?
Norm's a special guy. You know, everyone who meets Norm, you can't help but fall into his cadence. You know, yeah, Rudy, how you doing there, Rudy? I knew a guy named Rudy one time there in Toronto, you know. And then, of course, he'd go on 5 minutes later and do a corny punchline.
Everyone that meets you does an impression of you.
What?
You're one of those guys that you make such an impression on people that everyone that meets you does a Norm MacDonald.
I don't care for any of those impressions, by the way. You know how they say impressions are the highest form of flattery? Well, no, they say it's the highest form of flattery. Yeah. Anyways, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a rare and special guy. He was a brilliant guy. He was a brilliant mathematician, actually.
Really?
Yes, in his younger days, and he got moved ahead in grades, like way advanced in grades, probably more than he wanted to.
Oh, wow.
Because he was like in high school at a very young age, and kind of felt a little, you know, out of it, because socially he certainly wasn't at that age, but he was so brilliant mathematically that he felt a little awkward socially being moved so far in advance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you can tell how brilliant he was, because that, you know, math figures into comedy.
And timing, right?
And you can tell that's what goes on with Norm.
Anyways, this is what I get. I do a perfect you. I go, all right, let's hear it. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I can do an impression myself.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Hey. That's the
I've never heard you say that. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Hey.
Sounds like you doing an impression of Brewer doing an impression of you.
Hey, Dave Goodman, yeah.
And come to think of it, I got addicted to you. Oh, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no. I need someone like you.
Any funny stories you'd like to share with us about you and
About Norm?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, he's passed. I don't think he'd mind this one. Norm loved to gamble, and there's no secret to that. And sometimes he'd go in on Sunday to the office there on SNL, and he lost a bet or something. I guess it's a big one. And he was really mad. And then he tried to stomp on a phone, and he wrenched his back. But he was so mad that he said he slowly pulled the phone apart to assuage his anger, but he did it really slowly because his back hurt so hard. Oh my goodness, Norm was one of a kind, that's for sure.
You definitely will be missed, absolutely.
He anchors the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he has recently quit the nasty habit of smoking. Norm MacDonald. Norm! Now, you're a young iconoclast, Norm. You know, the kids, they get you.
What? I was going to wear a suit, and I
don't think you. I like this whole D.B. Cooper look for you, man. This is... Now,
is he the guy that jumped out of the plane?
No. He's married to Alice Cooper. Now, the thing remember you wrote for my first talk show?
Yeah, you gave me my first
And I used to come in the room, and you and Drake Sather had no lights on. It was like some fucking Anton LaVey Satan cult in there. And you guys used to turn out the sickest jokes ever. And everybody was always smoking. Then I see you on Saturday Night Live during the opening credits. And one of the things I like about you is you're completely unfiltered on that show. You'll say anything. And I saw in the picture you had a cigarette in your mouth. I thought, this guy just doesn't give a shit. So I asked you to come on. I find out you pussed out on me and quit smoking. What is that all about?
No, because it's bad for you. They have these fucking things on the side. You have to read the fine print where it says, it's bad.
Now, when did you first start smoking?
I started smoking as a kid, like when I was, I think I was like 14, and I thought, I'll look really cool, like if I start smoking, because I didn't get along with anybody. So I started smoking. Wouldn't you know it, I did look cool. All of a sudden, all these broads like me and everything. Not broads, but ladies, girls, women. And it was hard though, man, because I was always guilty about all the time I smoked, because I always thought, You know, I always knew it was bad for me, you know? Like, even though some guys will say that it's good because their uncle lived long or something and he smoked, you know, and they'll go, hey, what about, you know, that old guy, you know, Bert Mustin, what about that guy, you know? And then he just because he lived long, that doesn't mean anything, right? That's just one guy. You can't, just because Bert Mustin lived long, you're all of a sudden...
You did your master's thesis on this, didn't you? Now, did people bother you a lot when you're smoking? Were people pissed off when...
Yeah, people don't like when you smoke, you know. They're bothered. Like, I gotta admit, though, secondhand smoke is bad. Like, I don't like... When I smoked, I didn't like secondhand smoke. Yeah. You know? I like that first-hand smoke because you get to suck it right out of the cigarette, you know? And the secondhand... Any fucking thing that's already been ingested by someone is not as good, you know? You know what I mean? Like a pork sandwich is delicious, but after a digested pork sandwich, that's fucking shit. You know?
You can't fight that logic, Norman. You cannot? Do you think advertising brings kids to smoking? You know, there's a lot of fight with the Joe Camel thing. Do you think they really?
Yeah, definitely they got it. Because the thing is this. The advertisers, they got to go after kids because they're not going to get adults. Like, there's not going to be a 50-year-old guy going, hey, I should start smoking. That goddamn Camel. Look at him. They got to get little children.
Joe Camel.
Yeah.
That's a frightening-looking beast.
He looks like a cock. I didn't make this up.
And I know you don't mind first-hand cock, but...
You don't know that. Don't say that. I know how this stuff happens, man. Because a buddy of mine worked on Saturday Night Live, and he said he was a fag once as a joke. And then he said everybody comes up to him and saying, "Are you a fag?" Gay man, I mean.
Show about smoking. They thought you meant the British word for cigarette. All right.
Exactly. Can I bum a fag? That's what they say in England.
Where else? All right.
Think about Joe Camel looking like a cock, Dennis.
Oh, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Thanks for bringing me back.
This is what I've noticed. He doesn't even look like a fucking camel. He looks so much like a cock because you know how it's usually subliminal?
Yeah.
Where you have to find the cock, right? This character, you have to find the goddamn camel.
Yeah, believe me, when you only get 2 humps out of a cock, it's not worth smoking. All right, now, line 2, we got a phone call for you. Although I can't believe they'd still be on the line after this departure. Line 2, we've got Beverly from Middletown, Ohio. Beverly?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. Hi, Norm.
Hi, you didn't know my name, I don't think.
Yes, I did. I watched Saturday Night.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it when Dennis was on it.
I watch Dennis every Friday.
Get out of here. You're great at that, man. You're great at this. You know why? Because you don't give a shit about Dennis. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing you can do. Whenever I'd go on, they'd go, what's it like following Chevy? And I like Chevy. He makes me laugh. What the fuck do I think about Chevy? I'm trying to make a living here.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And when I see you, I know you're thinking the same thing. Like, screw Dennis. I'm killing. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, since nicotine is such an addictive drug, do you think someday you'll have to have a prescription to buy a pack of cigarettes?
Well, you know, they always bring up the Constitution and talk about how we should still have the right to a militia and all that. But let's face facts, this country was built on tobacco growers. So, you know, if you're going to start changing... If you're not going to change one thing because it comes from way back then, you can't change this either. There are farmers out there who make a living. Tobacco is one of the crops that got this country going. So, no, I don't think they'll ever make it illegal.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't make it illegal. I know.
I think Norm's backing me up on that. What motivated you to quit?
Well, I guess I read this thing about how it was like a phallic symbol, and my doctor went in. He said, you probably have an oral fixation, which you know what that means. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So that's why I always smoke like cigarettes instead of cigars, because if I'm gonna have I like a little white thin cock, you know?
Are we back to cocks again? I go away to Ohio, Middletown, the center of the universe, to take a nice clean call, and then I space out. I'm thinking I can't listen to Norm for a second. I gotta get a time cue here. I come back and you're talking about having a thin white cock in your
I don't have a thin white cock in my cock, you mean?
No.
In my mouth. No, you misunderstand. What I'm saying is this. I'm just saying
don't make the mistake of thinking I fucking listen to you.
I just want to make it clear about that cock thing. I was just saying, if I ever was gay, if they suddenly made it mandatory or something, then I would choose the smallest cock, and I would like a guy that came fast. I don't know. I thought the subject was cock.
No, cocks is next week.
I'm sorry. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I was just thinking, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, Bob Dole came right out and said
he was one of the first.
Yeah. And you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, you know? I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that in some corners is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, yeah. It's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is,
Prefer to Spade.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rip kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. He goes, no, he's a good guy.
If you're gay, he's a completely straight guy. He gets a lot of ladies. You know that about him with the ladies.
Don't say ladies.
Women, girls.
Okay, thank you. Ladies, what are we, fucking on an FM station here?
He's Don Cornelius.
But these gay guys, man, I was reading, about
these gay guys.
I haven't even said hi yet. All right. Tell me what it is with these gay guys.
I know, I'm already.
I just read this thing about the George Michael.
You're reading a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a little time off. Now I read the newspaper. And this really strikes me about the gay community. I don't know if they're a community, but
called West Hollywood.
Yeah, they're gay, and it's George Michaels. He hangs around the bathroom. He has sex with multiple guys. This is
no way. You got to get it right. Hangs around the bathroom, and it was described as a lewd behavior, but I don't remember sex with numerous guys.
Well,
is that what you took away from it?
What does he do?
What were you, in the next stall?
I could have been just having a nice bathroom, regular thing.
I don't know what lewd behavior is, but I don't know that he was in there with numerous guys. But
this
anyway,
is
go ahead. We get the gist of it.
This is definitely a gay thing, like, because this is a pop superstar. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, ah, you know? You're not going to...
What? I love it.
What I'm saying is, why would a famous
what was she doing? What was that, some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They do.
That's what they do, right?
That's what ladies that I know do. But
good to know that primetime exposure's paying dividends there.
But I think that's what it is. It's that the gay, that's why they have separate bathrooms. Let's face it. If they had women and, women, as you call them, I call them ladies. If you had them in the same bathroom, like you go in the bathroom to do your business, see a man about a dog there, you know, and you're in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. All of a sudden, a beautiful lady comes out. Oh, here's my vagina and breasts. You're going to be hanging out at that bathroom a lot. So I don't blame anybody for anything.
Can you believe Olmeyer didn't get him?
We're all the same, man.
Have you ever met Olmeyer since then?
Don Olmeyer I met once, yeah, after he fired me.
Yeah.
Then I went and visited him in his office, which it wasn't an office I've never seen. It was like a wet bar and a bunch of weird sports trophies. He's a big sports guy, you know.
Yeah.
So he explained it to me what happened, but he did it all with sports stuff, you know. Like you said, man, you see, you're the number 3 hitter, but now you're going to be number 8. And then later on, Ken Griffey will show up. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then I said, well, Christ, man, what the hell am I supposed to do? And he goes, I don't know, just walk it off, you know. And
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were fucking with OJ too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's his buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah, well, that's why you got canned.
OJ's a good guy. I mean, he's not...
We got to end on that, Normie, but there's what they'll remember you by. OJ's a good guy.
Man,
Thanks for coming on. Norm MacDonald and David Spade, stick around.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis for better anyway. Am I just being...
Luckily, we have the good taste to bring tonight's guest back. Every season, he is as uncensored a wit as they come. His new sitcom, The Norm Show, is on ABC Wednesdays at 9:30. Please welcome George Wendt, ladies and gentlemen.
They thought they were getting...
Georgie Wendt! Norby!
How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Year in, year out, my favorite guest.
All right, you're a good man.
Because you have no inner barometer of how far to go.
Well, no, because it's HBO. I like to be dirty, you know, and it's fun.
You know what you are? You're like a profane child. That's how I think of you, because you always say, I like to be dirty. Then you go up on this Pynchon-esque cock rant for like 3 minutes. Yeah, cocks are ugly, and Joe Campbell's a cock, and you're always shuffling your feet. What are you nervous about? You're a star, for Christ's sake. How's that sitcom world? Is that hell, or do you like that over there?
It's not a lot of fun, but, you know, it's good to do.
No, it's not on Olmeyer's. Has Olmeyer sent you a congratulatory telegram, or what word am I looking for there?
Olmeyer, I haven't heard any missive, I think.
Who's the Olmeyer at your network?
This lady, Jamie Tarsis.
She think you're funny?
Yeah.
Olmeyer's not even there anymore, isn't it? Isn't one of his last official duties to whack you?
Yeah. He took off, and they got this other guy, I think it's maybe Sammy Sosa.
Scott Sassa.
Scott Sassa.
All right, now, I want to do a Rorschach thing. What flashes into your mind when I say bad taste? What do you find bad taste?
Well, there was this performance art guy, I remember in New York, that his whole big thing was he'd take a picture of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and then...
Oh, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then his whole act is he'd piss on it with his cock.
Wow, you know, at least he showed respect. He could have pissed with his, what, arm?
Oh, you're right. So I thought that was really and horribly bad
That's over
taste.
the line, as far as...
Yeah, because Jesus Christ, you know, he died for the guy's sin, and then the guy pisses on his picture. And it was a picture of Jesus dying for his sins. Like he was on the cross going, oh, dying for the guy's sins. And then this guy's like pissing all over it. But, you know, when Judgment Day comes, he's going to have to face Jesus Christ of Almighty of Nazareth, you know.
And Jesus is going to say, hey, asshole, what's with the peeing on my picture?
Yeah. That negates every other good thing he ever did, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't piss on my picture.
Yeah. You don't want to come up to the gates of heaven, God's leaning there with a nunchuck strapped around his neck, you know. How do you
go, I'll have some performance art for you while the fucking devil shoves some coal up your ass.
As I said before, the childlike outro, but effective. How do you define bad taste? Is it like beauty? Is it in the eye of the beholder, or what?
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, it depends on what people... Some people, like, get all upset over certain words, like, they think that, like, girls all the time, man, when I'm talking to them, like, if I go, hey, how about you and I, like, fuck, you know? and then the girl always goes, like, I don't fuck, I make love. I make love. And I go, I don't care, whatever you want to call it, as long as my dirty cock's involved, you know? I don't care. I'm not going to get in a semantic argument. You know, you can call it making a grilled cheese sandwich as long as there's a lot of me doing that
kind of thing. Now, what's the earliest into a hitting on a woman that you've ever said, I want to fuck you? Like you give it a couple minutes, right?
I try to get into it pretty quick. You know?
Throw that trump card down. No, if you're in the game.
I don't, because I don't ever ask them to, would you like to have dinner? I don't really like having dinner with them. Or having a drink with them or anything like that.
No.
You know,
so that's your sort of exchange with women is...
Yeah, I say, hey, how about you and me fuck? And then they go, no. And then they go, how about we have dinner? And I go, I don't like dinner, you don't like fucking.
So it's a pretty basic thing you have with women. Kind of a basic exchange.
I'm not good with girls.
When do you remember first being cognizant of bad taste? You know, because when you're a little kid, everything's kind of funny. You know, like farting is explosively funny.
Right.
When do you remember first being able to differentiate between bad taste and good taste?
I know when you're a kid, you'll say anything. Like, I don't remember much, but I have a little boy, you know, a sweet little boy.
You have a son?
Yeah, he's a
Norm,
good boy.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
Ah, you want to say hey to him?
Yeah, hey, well, you
he can't watch this show. That's what I always say. You can't watch Daddy.
Right. So little Dylan and I went to El Pollo Loco. Yeah.
His original name was Zimmerman, though, right?
Yeah. I thought that would be the coolest name as I was a kid. I never heard anybody named Dylan. I said, this will be because I love Dylan Thomas.
Right.
So I said, this will be a cool name for a kid, and I thought it'd be unique, and now every fucking kid is Dylan. And they named him after that 90210 guy. Can you imagine? That's what I read in not a book, but a periodical. So anyway, little Dylan and I were getting some chicken at the Pollo Loco.
Right.
And kids are so wonderful, you know. You know that.
Unfiltered.
They're unfiltered, exactly. Yes. So we're standing beside this huge fat broad, you know. And so
not as unfiltered as Daddy, but unfiltered.
So me and little Dylan are behind her, and he goes, Daddy, look how fat she is. And then so I had not said, you're not supposed to call fat people fat to him, so it wasn't his fault. So I said, no, Dylan, shit, enough with that. And he goes, I bet she's going to eat a lot of chicken. I bet. It was really funny because everybody was looking at her, and then right at that moment, the guy goes, "Yes, ma'am. What would you like?" And she was like, "I'll have 2 pieces of chicken." You know, she was going to order like 8 full whole chickens. You know.
Well, how do you know that?
Yeah. How do I know that?
Yeah, maybe she wasn't going to order 8 full chickens.
No,
Maybe she was...
because right when she ordered the 2 chickens, she did like the shifty eye. You know. I don't do a good shifty eye.
So. You're behind her in line and yet able to discern the subtle REM-like movements of her eyeballs.
You got me on that one, man. I made that part up.
You don't even have a son!
For the purposes of that anecdote, I am not Darren.
I thought you were going to be quick and say, it was Linda Blair! We got a phone call for you, believe it or not. Fat woman from El Pollo Loco. No. It's Murtaugh from Miami, Florida. Murtaugh.
Hey, Dennis. Hey, Norm.
How are you, Mert?
I'm good. You know, I can't wait to see your new show. It really looks good.
Oh, yeah?
Wait, when's it on again, Normie? Remind me. You're good. You're one of my friends. I'll let you plug capriciously.
Okay, it's on
oh, come on. You got to get this. Huh?
When is it on?
Are you in it?
Yes. It's on a Wednesday at 9:30 on the American Broadcasting Corporation.
All right. So, what's your question there, Mert?
Okay, why is it people like this annoying Joan Rivers, you know, always criticize people's bad taste at the Academy Awards, you know, like Gwyneth Paltrow, who's like the hottest chick on earth, and well, she has no taste in fashion whatsoever, you know, man? I mean, God.
I don't. You know what? I feel awkward here because I met Joan Rivers once and she was so nice to me and so funny. But I agree with him to some extent when she gets like lays into Kathy Bates or saying, you know, Kathy Bates never did anything wrong by her. And I just think there's that slight tinge of desperation in Joan sometimes nowadays. You know, that she'll say anything and that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes that makes me uncomfortable. But you know, she's a good dame and she does a great show
I hate
there.
slamming other celebrities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember when Spade did that? How he lived his life in fear?
To Eddie?
Well, to Eddie, you know, to Eddie specifically,
people, right?
but Spade used to do that Hollywood moment. Spade, he's a great guy, he's one of our best friends, but he was always scared shitless because he made his whole thing out there just trashing people, and they would get pissed and call him, and he was always like living in fear. He never goes to Hollywood parties because he's afraid somebody's going to kick his little Sputnik ass. You know?
Right, because everybody he insults is like 2.5 feet taller than him.
Now, Norm, have you ever done anything in your long and storied career that you consider specifically to be in bad taste as you look back on it? Maybe at the time you thought it was a good play, but you look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Well, sometimes, like in stand-up, I'll do jokes that are like one time I was doing this thing in San Francisco, and they were all gay people in the audience. They told me, so I figured I'll do.
In San Francisco?
Yeah.
No.
So I figured I'd do stuff about gay people so that they could relate to it.
Yeah, it's warm up. They love that.
And so I was talking about, because I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies like with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son," you know. And so I was saying, that's an odd thing to be proud of, you know, because it's not an achievement, you know. It's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered, I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, you know, at work like they're, "Hey, Bill, you know, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, you know, first in his class, you know what I mean? Now he's articling over at a law firm, and, oh yeah, he loves cock." You know? This kid, he can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, this kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock. I want to show it to you.
To watch the maturation of you as an artist, to realize it took you 9.5 minutes to get around to the sucking cock stuff. It's beautiful to see you comfortable in your own skin, Normie. All right. The Norm Show, 9:30. Right. What night? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
ABC. Good luck with it. Norm MacDonald. Stick around, Norm, to do the news. Norm MacDonald. Now, Norman, you're an inventive guy. Which of the current batch of inventions has tickled your fancy? What do you like?
Henry Ford just invented the assembly line there,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, I heard.
And that was good because he wanted, you know, not just rich people, but anyone to drive over and see his cock.
Is there any other one that's caught your fancy?
There was Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah.
You know, he invented the telephone.
Right.
So he could call people up, tell them to come on over and see his cock, you know, because he was tired of yelling it out the window. So, hey,
theme development.
check out my cock.
So, Norm, I hear you just got back from New York City. What's happening in Gotham?
Oh, my God. Well, the big thing is the new Empire State Building. Have you seen this?
I've heard. I have not seen yet.
Oh, it's crazy. What I'm interested in is the original architect's blueprint, you know?
Yes.
It called for the building to be painted flesh tone, Dennis, with a large rounded head so the architect could lie on the street and pretend he had a 1,000-foot cock. Frank Lloyd Wright, more like Frank Lloyd Cock.
So, Norm, tell me, what's your take on this whole Cold War thing?
Well, my brother works down at the UN, right? And you remember last week when Khrushchev was banging his shoe on the table?
Crazy bastard.
Yeah. So my brother was sitting beside him, and Khrushchev, like, he accidentally slips, and my brother gets hit right in the cock.
With the shoe?
Yeah, by Khrushchev's shoe. So my brother turns to him, he says, "Hey, you hit me in the cock again, you dirty commie, I'll bury you."
So what's been happening, man?
Oh, man, I dropped acid the other week. That is bizarre stuff.
Really?
Yeah, my cock started singing to me. Sound like Joe Cocker.
Stood for something other than just being Mexico's bitch. I say if President Clinton 296 doesn't snap us out of this downward spiral we're in, we dump his gay ass. Next election process, we clone Jesse Ventura again, bring him back. Hey, Norm.
Hey, you know what I think they should put on the dark side of the moon?
What?
Vast fields of bioengineered hydroponically grown cock. Yeah, you know, like a backup supply just in case our earthbound supply of cock might run out one day.
Cock tucked away for a cocky day.
Exactly. Look at my head, man. It looks like a cock.
It does.
Cock. 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 That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
The smartest cat I ever knew at SNL, and a much revered figure there is joining us for another segment. This is my former producer, longtime writer and contributor, Jim Downey. Jim, I had Norm on the show yesterday. I always thought Norm, from the first second I saw him, was just a flat-out misanthropic genius. I always gave him a wide berth as far as time schedules and that, because I just said, well, I'm going to grab Amadeus and tell him he has to be here to do busy work. You know what I mean? That isn't going to happen. So I think he's a genius. What was it like to work with him on Update?
Well, he is a genius and the most fearless performer. He likes people to laugh at his stuff. He enjoys that, but it's sort of one of like, half a dozen important aspects of what he does. Mm-hmm. So that if he really loves a joke or a bit, he will happily go out there and do it, whatever the response is. And there was if you want to hear a story,
I love a Norm story.
One time we were in the office doing Update stuff, and there'd been a news item about there was going to be a newspaper for the homeless, you know, and so we were thinking about doing some of that. So we started improvising. It was more of a scene, not something we could do on the segment, but it was like a tough kind of Perry White kind of editor going like, "You, Miller, I want 500 words on going to the bathroom in your pants. You, Immel, give me something. Give me a human interest thing on urine stain matter. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, and like a lot of like photos, maybe some, you know, a little human side, you know, what are, you know, pets, that kind of thing. And so nothing came of it, and I sort of forgot we had the conversation. And then the first meeting we have after the summer, Norm comes in and goes, "Hey, Downey, remember that, you know, that thing we were talking about there with the, remember that thing with the newspaper for the homeless, you know, that thing, the homeless newspaper?" And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, you know, I was out in L.A. and I was asked to do this benefit, you know, for the coalition to feed the homeless or something, you know. And, you know, and I'm going, no. And he goes, yeah, you know, I did that bit, you know. They hated it. Hated it.
All right, you tell me now. That's the Andy Kaufman part of the joke, or is he actually surprised that they hated it? That's what I can't quite figure with Lord.
I know.
Jimmy calls in here periodically and says that he has bought a puppet and he wants to work material out on the show. And I'll say, well, tell me about the puppet. And it's an old man puppet who's a Holocaust denier. And it's obviously just Norm sitting at home talking as Norm. He makes no pretension to a puppet voice.
I know.
And I think he's Andy. I don't know. I view a lot of Andy Kaufman in there. It's just
well, he also would like to, one of the things that he would really enjoy just getting into a character, and then you could not get him out of it. Like he liked doing old man stuff,
yes,
like being an old geezer and complaining about aches and pains and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, Norm, now seriously, now we actually have to talk about it. You know, he'd start doing stuff about rheumatism and you know, things like that, and you just had to plead with him to just stop. But he was on his own kind of, you know, set of rhythms.
The speed with which he would take his sport coat off at the end of his Letterman impression, always I would watch the thing just to watch, because Letterman's so ill at ease with show business, always makes this conscious show of getting rid of the sport coat at the end of the show. And when Norm picked up on that and did that as impression, God, I fell out.
You know, I learned a little bit about that was Norm. And of course, Norm's a little crazy, but Norm, you know, a big host would come and we'd all get all hopped up, like, okay, Rose is gonna bring in big ratings. Let's get our AP. Where's my goat? I'm gonna throw out a goat. And Norm would sit there in the pitch meeting. We'd all be dead serious. You know, Will would throw out, I'm going to do a cheerleader.
Right.
This one and that. And Norm would be like, yeah, I got a sketch where, you know, you're going in your pants, you know? And you're just walking around, and you're like, yeah, I'm the guy with the in my pants, you know? I hate this guy, and you look at him like he was nuts, but he knew what he was doing.
Norm knew exactly. Listen, one of the single funniest things I've ever seen in my life is when he did Letterman, how quickly he would throw the sport coat off at the end of the sketch. Nothing made me laugh harder than Norm doing Letterman. And I said to him, what's with the sport? You know how Letterman, how ill at ease he is with show business. Yeah. Norm said, that's all I had at the beginning. The essence of it was his discomfort. I said, this guy's a freaking genius.
He is a genius. He would warm up the crowd. Now, when I would warm up the crowd, I would warm it up like I was playing the garden, and I wanted to teach everyone a lesson. If I'm cut from tonight, I want you to know I should have been on.
That I was a badass.
Yeah, I'd warm up the crowd, kill. Norm would go up behind me, and he'd go, hey, you know, Jim Brewer and these guys, he's got all these great impressions, you know. So I said, well, I better learn some impressions. So, are you guys all ready? This is my newest impression of these. I love it. Because here's Ed Sullivan. And I'm like, he's really going to do Ed Sullivan? Like, why would you? He goes, Ed Sullivan introducing the Beatles. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Beatles. Well, I got to work on that one a little bit. I see you during the show.
He's got a little Andy Kaufman in him, Norm. He likes to frustrate, titillate a little, but then periodically he'll say something like, "You know, I feel sorry for the homeless guy's dog, because you know the dog's thinking this is the longest walk I've ever been on." Norm's hosting a sports show now, Jimbo, on Comedy Central.
Oh, that's dangerous. You and I both know that can be very.
Yeah, but that is a panel I volunteer for because I want to be in the blast site of that when that goes off because that is going to be a hoot. Hey, now listen, did I hear some rumble that Brother Sandler sent out Maseratis to the cast of Grown Ups? Did you reap the benefit?
First of all, let me just say one thing. Nothing's better than Nancy Pelosi Augustus reference.
Pelosi Augustus.
I'm still swooning over that one. Yeah, Stanley gave Maseratis to Spade, Schneider, Kevin James, Chris Rock, all of whom need one, by the way. Very bad. But
Exactly. What'd you get?
no bitterness, but me and Norm MacDonald, yeah, we're splitting a zip car.
And you know, you split a zip car with Norm. It's like having one of those, those Christmas trees the drivers have that smells like North Slope Sensimilla.
Yeah, this car. I don't know. They must have been smoking pot in here or something.
Norm cancels on us once every 2 weeks, and I almost enjoy it more than him showing up at this point because he always wants me to talk to some ventriloquist puppet that he says is on the phone. A Holocaust tonight. What has happened to Norman?
And then when he sees you, he's going to go, how come you never have me on your show?
Nope.
We tried to get you on. What?
Nobody funnier, though. I mean, you got to give it to him.
Nobody funnier.
That guy, if I'm in a room with him for 10 minutes, they got to put the paddles on me because I flat.
And now, here's your host, the star of ABC's Norm MacDonald.
All right. Wow, this is exciting. Thank you, and welcome to the American Music Awards. This is exciting. I'm not actually in music, so let me introduce myself. To those of you who don't know me, I'm Norm MacDonald. For those of you not familiar with me, thank you very much. I am the biological child of Melissa Etheridge and Norm Crosby. So if you want to... Well, that's the big story in music news right now. Melissa Etheridge asked her friend David Crosby to be the biological father of her children. And you know, this was a new experience for David Crosby. Usually when David Crosby picks up a turkey baster, there's a turkey in the vicinity. That's right. He's a fat guy. But this is the 27th Annual American Music Award. It's the first American Music Award of the new millennium. And we're setting a... Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. And we're setting a big record here tonight. Three straight hours of ABC programming without Regis. So that's kind of exciting. You know? You know, before I did the show, I never realized how much work it took to put on a production like this. Check it out. They spent 2 months building all these incredible sets. They had to coordinate 14 live music acts. And most impressive of all, they had to find a seat filler for Jennifer Lopez. She's got a... What the fuck was that? Now, maybe you guys are right. Maybe she doesn't have a gigantic ass. I stand corrected. Well, it's been quite a year in music, though. Let's look back. A lot of classic songs have been covered this year, haven't they? Lenny Kravitz did American Woman. Dwight Yoakam did Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And Barry Manilow released an album entitled Manilow Sings Sinatra, and I'll tell you, it is a great CD, or as I like to call it, it is a great coaster. I like to throw my drinks on that. not a good CD at all. And you know, everyone's so obsessed with their careers nowadays in music, you know what I mean? Here's a kind of a nice story. Celine Dion is retiring from music to try to start a family, you know? And I think she's serious about it, because I just saw her backstage chasing David Crosby with a bucket and a copy of Swank. So I think she's serious about it. Well, we've got a big show, so let's get it going. Yeah. Here are our first presenters. As Dr. Fraser Crane, he's achieved stardom in TV, and with hits like Come to My Window and Angels Would Fall, she's achieved stardom in music. But they have one thing in common. They both love the ladies. Please welcome Melissa Etheridge and Kelsey Grammer.
You put it you put the juice in the thing, you juice in there, and then you squeeze it out, and you bake it at about 350 for about 6 Hi.
Name Shadaisy comes from the Native American word for my sisters. It's kind of like that other Native American band, Chumbawamba, which means thanks for that one song. Ladies and gentlemen, Shadaisy, right here. Okay, folks, before we continue, I have an announcement from the management. Would the owner of a Glock 9 with the inscription, "Too Puffy with Love," please pick up your gun? It's at the hospitality suite. Well, 1999 was a big year for Latin musicians, and Atlanta Braves pitcher John Rocker thinks they all suck. He especially hates our next performer, and has never bought any of his 13 consecutive #1 Latin singles or any of his 17 million albums he sold. So if you're watching now, John Rocker, be a good time to hit the can. For the rest of us, here he is, Enrique Iglesias. That's a coincidence, because I did that song in a karaoke bar the other night. That's one of my favorite songs. I was just talking to Dre backstage. I don't know if he's a real doctor, but he did prescribe me some stuff. So I don't know. There he goes. And that leads us to our first special merit award of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, for nearly 30 years, our next presenter toured the country with his band, the Grateful Dead, playing guitar to sold-out arenas of tie-dyed hippies. That's right. Please welcome the late, great Andy Garcia. Well, I'll tell you, it's nice to be back on stage out here. You know, I don't want to say my dressing room is small, but Tommy Lee just dropped by to visit. He shook hands with Carmen Electra. He blew out a wall. He's got a huge... Anyway. I didn't know the Judds were back together. Did you know that? I just saw them. I just saw the Judds backstage. Yeah, you're big Judds fans? I just saw the Judds backstage. Chasing David Crosby around with 6 mason jars and a ham sandwich tied on a fishing pole. I don't know what it means. Our next presenters are talented young stars who became overnight sensations with their brilliant debut albums. And if I can take this moment to offer a little friendly advice, kids, whatever you do, when you put out your second albums, don't suck. Yeah, Savage Garden. That was great. They didn't seem as savage tonight as usual to me, but that might just be me. You know, folks, it's time for our next presenters, and for a long time there's been a rivalry between West Coast rappers and East Coast saxophone players. But tonight they have put their differences aside to be here. Please welcome Warren G. and Kenny G. Our next performers took their name from the nickname of their home state. They picked Lone Star because the other nickname for Texas was already taken by that other band, Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, Lone Star. Well, you all know our next two presenters. When he was on the show Silver Spoons, he went by the name of Ricky. But now he's all grown up on NYPD Blue, and he prefers to be called Big Ricky. She is an exceptionally gifted singer and songwriter by the name of Amy Grant, although she also prefers to be called Big Ricky, oddly enough. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Big Ricky Schroeder and Big Ricky Grant. Yeah. Too bad Ricky Martin won. The other two people were here. Well, our next group has had a song on the top of the rock charts for 18 weeks. In fact, they had 4 #1 singles off their debut album, My Own Prison. That's more than talent. That's pure dumb luck. Here they are, Creed. Well, tonight we brought together 3 of the hottest top 10 singers, and we put them together on this stage to participate in a bare-knuckle fight to the death. Here are Tyrese, Jessica Simpson, and Julio Iglesias Jr. It's getting more and more exciting. Getting exciting backstage, too. I tell you, all the big stars back there. You know who I just met backstage? I met Old Dirty Bastard on stage. Yeah. Charming couple, the bastard. It was Old Dirty and Fern Bastard. Very nice. Anyway, it's time for our next presenters. You know, the biggest stars in comedy are recognized by just their first names. That's right, Johnny, Lucy, Rodney. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bill Maher and Caroline Ray. Well, this is it, the last award of the night. That's right. In about 5 minutes, everybody here is going to be at a big party, and in 5 minutes, I'm going to collect my $200 paycheck and get my soothing back rub from Dick Clark. The back rub was the deal breaker. I'm very excited to be here, you know, and I was asked to host the ESPYs this year. Yeah, hi, that's my name, Espen. When I was asked to host the ESPYs this year, folks, I said yes immediately for one reason and one reason only. This show has interns. I'll be having little improper relations backstage a little later. But man, it's great to be here at the 6th annual ESPY Awards. Hard to believe, huh, that the ESPYs are 6 years old. Although Anthony Mason swears they're 18. So, yeah, he'll be having sex with the ESPYs in about 12 years. So, I was a little late here tonight. I took a cab to the theater, folks. And I don't know if you've ever been in these New York City cabs, but I got one of those cabbies, couldn't speak English, you know. Saw his name there on the dash. I couldn't even pronounce it. I think it was something like Hideki Arabu. I'm like that. Arabu's been having some trouble, man. They fired his translator. Steinbrenner fired his translator. And people see that as cruel, you know, but I don't know, you know. I mean, if you're not doing well in Yankee Stadium, you know, do you really need a translator? Do you want that, you know? You know? Hey, what'd they say? They say you suck. You should go back to Japan, you dirty foreigner. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to pitch over here. It's great to be here on ESPN. I love sports, man. Man, you can see sports on ESPN you don't see on other networks. You know, like kickboxing. That's my favorite sport. Kickboxing is great. When you think about it, it combines the style and grace of boxing with kicking. This seems kind of immature. Just backstage, a lot of celebrities back there, man. I was talking to Jerry Jones, you know, the Cowboys owner, and he's disappointed, obviously. Yeah. Well, he's a good guy, though, man. He's talking about rebuilding the team, you know. And he told me, he says, we have to get back to what made us a championship team. Strippers and crack. have you heard about this? Ted Turner and NBC plan to start their own rival football league to compete with the NFL. And not much known about the specifics of this new league, except for this, it will suck. They know that. So they might have trouble, getting advertisers when we know it will suck. And of course, congratulations to the Denver Broncos for winning the Super Bowl. How about that? Denver did great, There he is. I love the Denver fans, because for one thing, they don't wear food on their heads. That's nice. And they had a wild celebration in Denver after that Super Bowl, man. And now city officials expect an even wilder celebration if the Nuggets win 10 games this year. They say they're going to... say the whole city's going to go nuts. Yeah, the Nuggets are having a bad year this year, man. Matter of fact, they're making a film about the team. They got a pretty catchy title. It's Black Men Can't Jump Either. Well, NBA All-Star Weekend over. That was exciting, man. The East beat the West. Jeff Hornacek won the three-point shootout. Houston's Clyde Drexler and Cynthia Cooper won that exciting two-ball thing. And Charles Barkley won the throw a guy through a plate glass window contest. So that was quite a game, I mean, who impressed me the most yesterday was Kobe Bryant. Unbelievable. This guy's amazing. 19 years old, the youngest starter ever in the All-Star game, and he played so well that today he was named spokesman for NBC's new public service campaign called Screw It, Who Needs College? Of course, the biggest story in basketball, no question about it, Michael Jordan may retire. Yeah, Michael Jordan may retire after this season, and it's terrible news for Bull fans, but it is terrific news for golf hustlers. They're happy about it. But Jordan is very serious, though, about leaving. In fact, he's already called the Hall of Fame to make sure that his plaque bears his basketball nickname, Air Jordan, and not his baseball nickname, Senior Crappy. That would just be disrespectful, Well, how about them Winter Olympics? They're finally underway, so we've got a lot of great stuff to look forward to the next 2 weeks, like hockey and, well, just hockey, really. I was watching last night, I saw speed skating, and my goodness, could the outfits they wear be any tighter? Holy Lord. There was an East German woman, I swear, you could see the outline of her entire penis. It was... goodness. Well, there's all kinds of sports celebrities in the audience tonight. I see Tiger Woods right there. Tiger Woods, how about that, huh? Yeah, he's up for golf. Of course, he's up for Golfer of the Year this ESPYs. And you know who I feel sorry for, folks, is the other two guys nominated for Golfer of the Year. You see these guys getting ready, it's like, hey, honey, have you seen my tuxedo? No, not the good one. The one I wear when I'm going to get my ass kicked. Have you seen that one? Boomer Esiason is with us. Boomer. How you doing, buddy? Boomer, of course, will replace Frank Gifford on Monday Night Football next season. And Frank told reporters that this will allow him to spend
more time with his wife and children. Then he broke down and cried for 45 minutes. So. And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case, all bets are off. Just a word of advice. Folks, before we can begin handing out our awards tonight, we must look.
I know it's time to close my eyes to old ends, open up to new friends, leave my heart in Berlin, where the tables turning, seeking out the new vibe, running streets at midnight, cities never sleeping. I am in Berlin, Berlin.
You know, I've noticed lately, everybody has an opinion. And when I was young, it wasn't that way, you know. People would have maybe, 6 opinions, you know. Sometimes you meet a guy, he'd have 8 opinions. You'd go, God damn, that guy's opinionated.
I had a bar mitzvah, Norm.
Yeah. You did?
Yeah.
Wait, are you Jewish?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. I love the Jewish people.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know you had a bar mitzvah. Yeah. That's when you turn 13 and they cut part of your cock off.
No.
What is it again?
No.
You cut your own cock off.
Wait, hold on. Are you
in
Jewish?
front of all your grandparents and am I? Yeah, I am.
What kind of bar mitzvah did you have?
It was the most cutting edge. You know what I mean?
If they define a chromosome as
or a
saying
gene,
that
yeah.
you're gay or a gene, that would be abnormal. How would the gay community?
It wouldn't be called abnormal. It would be called different. It wouldn't be called abnormal.
Wow.
Maybe the abnormal gene would be hetero.
That's true. Hey, maybe the normal gene would be those
Maybe
ladies
it would be
that
normal to be gay.
that cut their cocks into vaginas.
No.
A Florida University student was caught streaking on campus and apparently told police he was on acid and asked them to cut his dick off. Boy, these kids today are crazy. In my day, we didn't need drugs. We would just cut our own dicks off.
Yeah, you didn't need no fucking acid and shit. This reminds me of your kind of joke.
All right.
Just from hearing you read jokes.
Oh, I like this. I like the theme that this one has. A man in Taiwan reportedly cut off his own penis to win an argument with his wife. That reminds me of that episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, where Raymond forgot Deborah's birthday and he had to cut his own cock off. Game of Thrones, that guy's getting his penis cut off, if you guys
Everybody. Is there?
Yeah, this guy got his penis cut off.
To turn into a vagina? Fashion into a vagina?
I don't think they had medieval sexual.
Oh, that's in the old days?
Oh, yeah, it's like medieval. But it'd be cool if they did experiment with genital altercations back then.
Yeah.
I've been searching for what's missing, but the answer.
Isn't it weird that you can go to a doctor and go, you know how I have a cock?
Where are you going with this?
It's not real. I shouldn't have a cock.
I'm bored.
You mind cutting it? And because I've always intuitively believed that.
So the best is like when you want to go back after like 5 months. You're like, you know, I had a cock and then you gave me a pussy.
Which didn't work.
The pussy was fun, but can I get my cock back? You still have it?
Guys like you betcha. He started by cutting Yoon's penis off, leading to his lover bleeding out live on a videotape. Magnotta then went to his kitchen and placed his boyfriend's penis into a skillet, frying it until it was golden brown. While taking his last breath, Yoon witnessed his supposed soulmate feast on his genitals. After Yoon had perished, Magnotta began dismembering him, sending packages of his... I mean, this guy was a real jerk. Here we go. The final joke. Okay. Good night, everybody.
This year's most popular iPhone game is Clash of the Clans.
Clash of the Clan, the most popular iPhone game.
The least popular iPhone game, Cut My Cock Off.
Oh, my Lord. That's what you chose? Is the final joke?
You chose it.
Here, you read one.
All right. No.
You don't like that
No,
one?
I mean, I like it. I just.
Do you understand that we're on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, right. We all know that the Swiss are officially neutral.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
Well, that screwed up my timing.
Who wrote this?
We don't have a name on it.
Do you have writers?
It's anonymous.
Well,
It's like an old, I didn't write it. I didn't write that one. We all know the Swiss are officially neutral. Unofficially, however, they're filthy sons of bitches. Now the Swiss think I hate them.
What about this?
Go ahead.
Read this one.
I can prove God exists if I can just find that damn receipt from our brunch in heaven.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Did you write this?
I didn't write that one. No,
Read that one.
Call me an old softy, but I'd prefer it if you called me a distinguished gentleman with a flagging erection.
Oh.
I don't like that one.
I'll read that one.
Why are you going to make me read all this? Alfred the Great may well be the greatest monarch in the history.
Can you do me a favor? Can you find out what the traffic is like on the Santa Monica? Going to the Deadpan.
You'll like this one, Super Dave.
Deep
Hey,
throat.
can I tell you something? This is a bad segment. Oh, yeah, it is. You know it is. You know it is. When you come to Goodnight, he says, Goodnight, I really enjoyed doing this show. I had a great time, and I'll see you next week.
That's a good idea.
These
Yeah,
jokes
that's not
are
a bad
so,
idea.
they're not even, they're so beyond insulting the awful that it's not a segment. Can we start this segment over without the
No,
joke?
it's live.
Yeah, it is
We're
live.
live on podcast?
This is live.
Holy cow.
Listen to this joke. Because
Well, yeah, I
think
just wanted to say,
this
no,
is
this
right
isn't-
up his alley.
Yeah, this is just in the.
He might not remember this guy, though.
No, you'll probably remember. Deep throat porn legend Harry
he's
Reeves.
dead.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
died. But how
You
are they
know
going to
who
close
that
that
is?
casket? I mean, because probably because of his erection, I would think.
How are they going to close that casket? That isn't very good, is it?
I didn't write that one.
Plus, a man died.
Yeah, a
Guy
guy died. I
How are
mean,
they going to do it?
and he was a real pioneer.
Make Super Dave laugh.
Super Dave, I just wanted to tell you, Alfred the Great may well be the greatest monarch in the history of England. The worst, Richard the Goat F***er.
I don't think he's going to laugh. It's like
I
watching.
think he's close. Hold on. I think he's close.
It's like watching that golf ball on the edge
I
of
don't
the.
understand. I don't understand any of these. I don't even understand that they're how you could take a segment to end your first show when these ratings are so important. And you've I mean people at home, that guy who's wanted to know how to become a comic.
Who, JP?
No, the
guy
who
who wanted to
Oh,
know
from
how
the
to
writer.
become
Yeah,
a
yeah,
comic.
yeah. Right.
How can you tell him how to become a comic when you're reading that? Yeah. Would you read that at the Comedy Store?
No, I'm ashamed.
I don't think you would you? What's your best
But
joke?
he's not
Do
a-
it right now. We're going to close the show on your
Well,
best joke.
I'm not a comic.
You are. You've done stand-up.
Do it.
You've done stand-up comedy.
No, I didn't write
Do it.
jokes. I really didn't write jokes.
But you've done stand-up comedy.
What is
Yeah,
your,
that's why I don't do it anymore.
Will you talk to him after the show? Because you've got to
Let's go
get this. There's
over
got to
a
be. It's got to
drink.
be more fluid when you talk to him. He's got to come back and forth.
I know. That's what I told him before. I said yes. You've got to like say yes.
Yes,
and
It's
say
got
no.
to be like ping pong.
It's always no.
It's
with
like
him.
ping pong.
I know, but with him it's always no. With him it's like you hit
No, but
the
he
guy,
can't do that.
and then
You
he
gotta-
grabs the
you gotta
ping pong ball
participate.
and
What's
he
your
throws it
best
up.
joke?
What's your best
The
joke?
problem is I don't have any jokes. I
Oh,
literally
just
have no
say
jokes.
that again. What is your best joke?
I mean, the punchline is
It's all right.
cunt is in the sink.
It's okay. That's the joke.
That's all I know. That's all I got.
You just wrecked.
The latest
Adam
Archie,
Egan telling a joke.
the latest Archie comic shows gay character Kevin kissing his boyfriend Devin. Another barrier will be broken next month when, in a dream sequence, Jughead will be show fisting Betty Crocker.
God damn, you're illiterate.
It's a show fit. No. Oh, you're right.
Will be
Will
shown.
shown.
Will be
they,
shown.
They forgot to write the end there. Listen, whenever someone says, I have a couple irons in the fire, I think, is one of them a job writing blacksmithing metaphor? What? Why are these
I
all
don't know.
fucking...
I don't
That's
know.
funny.
But we're going to end.
Astronomers have discovered 3 new planets that have an atmosphere conducive to human life, and they've discovered one that has an atmo conducive to hipster life.
Whatever.
I like that one.
Some of the 200 Nigerian schoolgirls kidnapped by extremists in Nigeria have been forced to marry their kidnappers. And worse than that, they've been forced to laugh at their husbands' stories, even after hearing them for the umpteenth time.
You know something.
Yeah, I know.
It's
but
very
we don't have
hard to make a joke about those girls who are kidnapped. When I hear about those things, that is one of the worst. You know,
and yet you got a big laugh.
George Clooney's engaged. The rich and handsome 53-year-old told reporters, "It's time for me to settle down and start officially cheating on a heartsick and disillusioned spouse."
I don't hear any laughter.
Well,
I love George Clooney so much that he can do no wrong. He's just one of the good.
I can do a lot of wrong.
He's just one of the good human beings in the world.
A good name for a dog is Syndrome. That then when he tries to attack someone, you can yell "Down, Syndrome."
Don't laugh.
It's not. I mean, it's yeah.
That's like
it was a little insensitive, I guess. In England, a woman was arrested for throwing a birthday party for her 16-year-old son that included marijuana, alcohol, and strippers. Now she's got even bigger problems. What to do for his 17th birthday?
Whatever.
There's going to be a Broadway musical based on the movie Rocky. I don't know if you guys heard about this. In the Broadway musical version of the show, after Rocky climbs the steps of the art museum, he goes inside and spends 2 hours looking at paintings.
Yeah, I know. God damn.
Goes inside and looks at what? Paintings?
He looks at paintings.
I like that. That's a good one.
2 women accused of using sorcery have been beheaded in a remote village in Papua New Guinea. A team of police rushed to the scene but were forced to stand by and watch the victims being decapitated with axes as locals refused to let them come to their aid. Norm, if you ever go to a remote village in Papua New Guinea, at all costs, avoid using sorcery.
I understand any of that.
Maybe you'll have me
Everyone
back.
stopped listening like 3 minutes in.
Mondays aren't actually worse than any other day, according to a group of researchers who've never read a Garfield comic.
Fred?
Workers at a Harvard University library have discovered a book that's bound with human skin.
Ew.
I know,
God,
it's disgusting. Anyway, they were able to determine that part of the body the skin came from after the book was grabbed by a sexy librarian and immediately expanded to 3 times its size. 3 times its size.
Maybe if he didn't start.
Does that mean it was made from a penis?
Yeah.
Oh.
Michelle Obama has booked a cameo on the ABC show Nashville. With this and her appearance on iCarly, I think Michelle is ready to start appearing in films. May I suggest my favorite film series, Black Ass F***ers? It's actually. You don't hear any more about Bob Costas' infected eye. Who is stonewalling this investigation? I'm thinking about a year I would work on my delivery, but it's just not working out. I think the joke
You don't
is
hear any
that,
more about Bob Costas' infected eye? Who's stonewalling this investigation?
He's a consummate amateur.
Yeah.
You want to do that one?
Yeah. Adam?
One day in the hopefully not too distant future, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is going to hear a loud popping sound, the sound of his head coming out of his ass.
Adam is very kind. Adam is the kindest guest to you so far.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. Just in case he's still booking Tempe.
So this week I learned by Adam.
Invited back to the comedy table.
These are always fun. This week I learned, just because I masturbated to that picture of a guy falling to his death on 9/11 doesn't mean I have to share it. This week I learned you can pay your dentist with blowjobs.
Who knew that, right?
What I found out this week.
But you won't feel it because of the Novocaine.
All right, I learned 2 things this week.
Is that easier?
This week I learned that cum tastes like nickels.
Oh.
This week.
Is that true?
That cum tastes like nickels?
Yeah, that's funny. Is that what it says?
That's what it says here.
This week I learned how many gallons of sweat my Kmart hat can hold. Jesus Christ.
We'll be back with the ever funny Adam Egan.
Okay, get ready to laugh.
Why is it so different to find pornography about people in stable monogamous relationships?
Why is it so what?
Different.
Different? Difficult. Damn.
Start all over, and the joke still works.
Oh my God.
Earlier this week, Aaron Jackson of Topeka, Kansas, painted his house the colors of the Gay Pride rainbow flag in direct protest of the Westboro Baptist Church. When that didn't seem to work, Jackson fucked 3 of his best buds on his front lawn.
Homophobic.
Yeah. Well, I think it shows
earlier he
solidarity.
was racist, and now he's homophobic.
Well, I think of this. Former Tennessee Titans cheerleader Elizabeth Lee Garner, 42, is accused of pulling a 12-year-old boy's pants off and offering him oral sex. The boy refused her advances not because he was 12, but because he was a die-hard Colts fan.
This is what I have to work with, you know?
Chipotle has canceled its planned sponsorship of the Utah Boy Scout event due to the BSA's ban on gay leaders and scouts. Ironic how an all-male anti-gay organization would want to put hot, thick loads of beef and sour cream in their mouth.
Okay. We get the idea. You hate gay guys.
So I'm a guest on there, and now it's time to introduce the next guest. And she says, okay, this next guy coming out, he's a great actor. He was in Risky Business. He was done all kinds of stuff. I just love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Pantaleone. And he comes out, and as he's walking across the stage toward the desk, she goes, oh, I know who he is.
He said during Roseanne's
talk show.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yes, yes.
So one time the guest was Joe Pantaleone, and she didn't know who he was.
You f***ed it up. God damn it. Oh, mother.
You don't even have your own stories. You take other people's stories and f*** them up.
Know that in this day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all I need.
If you're walking down the sidewalk and there's somebody coming the other way in a wheelchair, do you have a look, or do you no, I'm going to act normal?
Well, I look at the guy, and I hope to God my face isn't making all kinds of twitches.
I like to hedge my bets. I don't want to ignore him, so I'll look at him, but I'll like scowl or something.
Really?
Oh,
it's the same joke.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What was your joke?
You had one joke?
It was so ridiculous. It was stupid.
What was it?
Oh God, man! It was something like don't take a shot from a girl at a bar because it looks ridiculous. It's never good. I think the punchline was is this a Care Bear cum shot or something? It was really ridiculous. I don't remember it. It was so long ago, but that was the gist of it, and that's why I don't do stand-up anymore.
He can't even tell his own joke.
I mean, I'm not a good,
Anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like...
Have you ever been with a porno girl?
Yes.
A professional pornography person?
Several times, yes.
Oh, several times. And how does that... See, that would intimidate me because I would think... You know how when you're in bed sometimes and you're like, you're doing something that you think you invented? Have you ever done that? And then
I did invent them. I'm still thinking that.
I believe it.
because oftentimes it might have just been the pornographer's girl's husband that actually invented it.
Well, I don't know that the husbands, the spouses of people in pornography are sexual pioneers. I imagine that they are like shuffling little eunuchs in the sex. They've married a person who's working in pornography.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to make that Faustian pact, where are you psychologically?
Yeah, well, you go out with them.
This is a casual interchange. That's like, I'm making more of a commitment to you by sitting here. So I mean, it's not
but
like,
is it a challenge
let's go on a voyage. Yes, but like for me, look, what you got to think of don't see sex as some treacherous, deceitful, grubby little act. It can be that. But see it instead as, I see it as a beautiful confluence. And them women in pornography, if you treat them very, very, very lovingly and graciously, it awakens within them. In addition to their skill and their willingness to experiment, there's an incredible, I don't know, joie de vivre, an incredible libido in its literal sense, life force that you can be accessed. I don't think be intimidated sexually, unless it's by some sort of strata of being you don't typically want to have sex with, like a cow or a camel or, in my case, a man.
Yes.
You know, that would be intimidating for me. I don't know how all of the orifices work.
Yeah. I think that's exactly the same.
With a camel.
Yeah. Well, I'm an old chunk of coal. I'm near 50. I'm on the same Viagra dosage that they give to the donkey at the second show in Tijuana. That's what my doctor told me. I envy you because you have, obviously, you're a more enlightened person. See, I think of sex as a shameful, filthy act.
Catholic, are you?
No.
Oh, where have you picked this up?
I grew up that way, and
and the farm, watching animals doing it in rural Canada.
Sow,
a moose being ransacked against some timber. Sow. They listen.
We were pig farmers.
They're not gracious creatures when it comes to conjugal matters. I've recently had an interaction.
Worst oral sex you could imagine.
Horrible gums, sort of yellowing molars. I would never engage in sex with anything porcine. I see once. I went round a friend's house. They had a pig. They thought it was an angle. I go. It's like, they goes, "Oh, the pig's coming out," and I could hear it. So this sort of desperate respiratory announcements preceded its arrival. It come out. Blind it was, shuffled out at me, and they went, with a pig, and you'll know this being from the world of pig farming, they said never take a step back once that pig comes out, otherwise the pig owns the hierarchical status between the two of you. In fact, take a step towards the pig. Never did I deny my nature more, I'm a vegetarian, than stepping towards this unholy looking creature.
It is.
I did it anyway.
It is an unholy creature, for God's sake. Jesus threw the demons in them and let them go over the cliff. I once saw a video, and I don't search out these videos, but you know when guys show them to you, they go, "You'll want to see this," and you're like, "Ah, Jesus," and then there's no one seeing it, you know. But it was a guy having a pig having sex with a lady.
I've seen that.
And
They have prehensile penises, don't they? They do. Like corkscrews. It's like their penis is its own independent entity trying to get away from the pig, which all of us can identify with. Ghastly little
But
creature.
I felt sorry for the pig, because here's the pig having sex with a beautiful woman, then they throw him back in the sty, you know? You know what I'm saying?
It's like a cruel thing to do. It's like the midpoint of trading places. It's a very unfair thing to do that.
Do you actually think that they would like a man's sperm?
A human
being's sperm? A woman?
Well, who?
A woman.
A woman would like a man's sperm? Well, yeah, she's been biologically programmed
in her
through
mouth?
millennia. Not necessarily through her mouth, but I think there's a point where a little bit of deviation from the linear realms of sex is okay, mate. But when you sort of take a big radical turn,
but in your mouth, like, isn't that stuff like living? Isn't that like those animals, little tiny tadpoles or something?
I didn't know it was going to have to get this deep. All right, then. Yeah, they're like little tadpoles. But, like, you know, the cells in the woman's mouth, the woman's basically the same genetic material as us anyway. I mean, it's only a confluence, you know, an interaction of mammalian material. Now, you could argue, well, so is it with the pig. But there's an important 1 or 2% of genetic difference that I think has to be observed in conjugal matters between species. That's my position.
I agree with you completely.
But a human being, I think
What do you think is wrong? Wronger.
Wrong in
more wrong. What do you think is more wrong? Having sex with a child, human being, or an adult pig?
Like, you've got to do one. That's the
You got to
options.
do one. Yeah, you're on a deserted island.
It's not me. It's some hypothetical
You're
person.
on a deserted
island
with a single
elevated.
tree.
It's not me. It's this person called Doug.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Doug
Exactly.
is on this island.
Doug is on a
Do it with look. I won't have sex with a child because I think the pig may not be as bothered as a child. I think it could have huge psychological impact on the child. So out of compassion, I would advise Doug to do it with the pig and to leave the child alone because of the potential psychological impact. Even though the child's on a bloody island anyway, that's going to mess him up, all that Robinson Crusoe crap.
How old are you?
Well, hold on a minute, that's non sequitur.
What kind of erection do you have?
Hold on a second, mine's marvellous. But let's say
because mine is bendy. This is my problem. Everything's going well with the lady.
Yes, you've got.
And I have my.
That's my erection, gorgeous, straight, little bit of a swan turn towards the back, which helps with the G spot. That I can manage that using techniques.
G spot. You can actually find that.
Mate, what are you doing in that bedroom? What are you getting up to?
I can't. They have the clitoris, the G spot. I couldn't even find a guy's balls if I had to.
Well, you don't need to do that, mate. You're not determined to on accounts of your predilections, but you've got to know how their equipment works.
Yeah, I just guess.
I can help you out.
How would you do that?
I just give you some basic techniques, some basics,
right? And I get the mood going.
The mood's going.
I have 4 covers and a big quilt. And then,
well, I'm getting hard.
I turn
with your big Snoopy bed.
I don't have a Snoopy bed. I have
4 covers and a quilt.
No, I have one of those beds that go like it's actually sexy. It moves
like
up and
Walton's
down.
House. Was it?
Then I get the mood.
Who wrote your house? John Steinbeck.
Then I get the mood going. I turn down the lights till it's Stygian black. And then I climb underneath the covers. I lay on top of the lady for 4 or 5 minutes. And she doesn't seem to enjoy it.
No, it sounds like an assault. It's like
but one time I tried this animalistic approach where, the lady is on her hands and knees. You know that?
Yeah.
That position?
I do know it.
Yeah. Named after a dog. Like,
rather reductive.
What?
It's reductive. Could be anything's got 4 legs.
Yes, exactly.
Couldn't it?
Exactly. Anyways, I go to put my cock in, and it starts bending. It's
which direction?
Well, I have a kind of a long cock, but
Congratulations.
But it's not thick. Turns out they only enjoy thick ones. But so it goes like this. Then
just
it bends.
Just like a pencil. It feels like a medical exam.
Have you seen like when an inchworm? It's more than an inch. But when a 12.5 inch worm goes like.
I don't know this creature, Norm.
Because your erection is banging on your belly every morning, whereas when you reach my age, I'm an old chunk of coal. I'm 49. I'm damn near 50. I've seen more sunsets than I'm going to see. Let's be honest.
Weekend Update with NORM MACDONALD.
Thank you. I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news.
All right. Norm, I got to ask you, I'm a big fan of SNL. How did you get the Weekend Update gig?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
I think it's for you.
It's for you, yeah. How'd you get the Weekend Update gig?
Oh, I got it. I auditioned for it, and then they gave it to me.
What a great story.
Yeah, that's great.
And he said it's pretty good. Yeah. What a guy. How good was that answer?
Great answer. Love
Wasn't it?
That was good.
Well, the great thing about Lauren is you could do anything you wanted. He would tell you wise things, like wisdom or whatever.
He's like a little Buddha guy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did it ever make sense, or
not to me?
You'd always walk away going, "What the fuck?"
To other people, it did. Like I remember one time he wanted me. Like this was actually with Weekend Update. They wanted me to do Weekend Update with a lady.
Yeah,
like 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that sounds like shit. I don't want to fucking. That sounds like shit. I'm like, if there's a lady and a dude, like, what are we making fun of local news? What the fuck is that? He's like, no. He's like, you'll be. He had some crazy. He goes like, I think he liked me because I didn't understand what he was talking about all that. And he goes like, you'll be Fred Astaire and she'll be Ginger. You'll give her the sex, a comedy, and she'll give you the sex. And I was like, the dancers? What? And I didn't know what he was fucking talking about.
Yeah.
So anyways, I go, I don't want to fucking do it with a lady. Let Franken do it.
Yeah.
So
Franken was going to do it?
Yeah, it was Frank and me or somebody else. So I didn't care that much about it. So because I could just do stand up. But anyways, what happened was funny. Like Steve Martin walked in because he was hosting.
Yeah.
And Lauren, to embarrass me, went, let's see what Steve thinks about it. And Steve Martin doesn't give a fuck about anything. So, but he goes, Norm wants to with the lady, and what he thinks. And he does this big long spiel, and Steve Martin's completely not interested.
Been dragged into something you wanted no part of.
But luckily, he fucking just said out of the blue, he goes, oh, fuck. He goes, I did this award show with some broad, and they paired me up with her, and she fucked everything up. Like, I guess they stuck him or something. Yeah. So then Lauren goes, oh, there's some support from an unexpected place.
And that's how you got the solo update?
Yeah, Steve Martin, because he was such a hero to Lauren.
You had a bad experience with an award show, and you get to run the solo on the update?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's a fucking good moment.
But I would have been in big trouble with a lady. But then later they did it with a lady and a dude. Because he kept saying, oh, remember, because I know Saturday Night Live, you know, like all of us, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, remember Jane and Dan? And I was like, that was shit. Like, I remember Jane, you ignorant slut.
Right.
But I also remember all the rest of the fucking shit. Like, he had a hat on and pretended to be from the... Like, they played characters.
Yeah.
And I was not interested in that because Dennis kind of changed it to Dennis Miller where
you do jokes.
Where you do jokes. And you're not doing a parody of a fucking...
Weekend Update with Norm MacDonald.
Thanks, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California.
I prefer the Indian casinos. That's what I like, you know, because I don't want to give my money. If I'm going to lose money, and I'm going to lose money, I don't want to do it in Las Vegas to a bunch of corporate businessmen. I would rather go to an Indian casino and lose it to the Native Americans, you know, on account of my forefathers systematically murdered them years ago, which, looking back on it, way out of line, way out of line. Anyways, I look at it as a form of reparations, you know, and I tell you, I've done my part, goddammit. Probably done your part, too. Anyways, I love casino.
Melissa McCarthy is Norm MacDonald.
Thank you. Thank you, but I am sorry I cannot, in good conscience, accept this award on behalf of Melissa McCarthy. I instead have chosen to give my time to a friend who has something very important to say.
My name is Johnny Two Feathers. While you enjoy tonight's show, I want you to think about something. The spot where you're sitting, every square foot of ground in this country was stolen from my ancestors. And after you stole it, you murdered them. So you'll forgive us if we do not laugh along. There is nothing funny about the extermination of a people. The theater stinks of blood. That's all I have to say. Oh.
Johnny Two Feathers, everybody. Johnny Two Feathers. Give him a wave, Johnny. Johnny, you don't want to wave? All right. Well, Johnny Two Feathers, everybody.
Probably just like masturbating in a dark room.
Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes, though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain. Native Americans in upstate New York are trying to block plans to build a Kmart on the site of a Mohican burial ground. In addition, they were upset to learn that sales at this particular Kmart will be announced, "Attention Kmart Savages." In Michigan, State Historical Commission officials say they will not interfere with the building of a new major sports stadium, even if construction unearths historical artifacts. However, state Indian Affairs officials say that if relics from a Native American tribe are found, they would like to have the land set aside and designated as a sacred tribal burial ground / giant casino. In Wisconsin, students at Menominee High School are desperately fighting efforts by the politically correct to change their team nickname the Indians. Already, opponents of the name have rejected the students' first compromise, the Drunken Indians. They feel that's almost worse in a way, you know? In Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Staticoti Indian tribe is seeking recognition by the Bureau of Indian Affairs in order to open either a manufacturing company or a casino. I wonder which one they'll choose. Manufacturing company or the casino. In Norwich, Connecticut, a local museum has made a long overdue effort at racial reconciliation by returning 21 ancient tribal artifacts to the Mohegan Indians. But as for everything else in the country, we'll be keeping that. Yeah. It's good news, really. We don't have to give any of it back.
It's like the difference between the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins. I can see where Redskin might upset somebody just a little. I don't think you're ever going to get it changed, but at least it is a bit denigrating. But Indians, isn't that? I never understand that.
Oh, you don't understand that?
No.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Or Braves.
I have no formal education,
Mm-hmm.
and as a matter of fact, I don't have any informal education. It's not like I'm hanging out with professors on the weekend, right?
Yes.
But this is the way I understand it. Old Chris Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
he sailed over here,
Right.
and then he got here, and he thought it was India.
Jesus, what a dolt. And that's the source of us all.
Yeah, so he goes, hey, man, look at all those Indians.
All right. Oh, that's it.
And then one of his buddies goes, hey, man, we took a wrong turn at the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This is America. and then he goes, hey, you Indians better get the hell out of here. You're not even in the right country.
Well, once you're about to take a country from somebody, you cannot refer to them as Native Americans. It only makes your task harder. They will fight harder because you've already told them you assume that it is their property. But my feeling is at some point there were an ice people, a horde of, almost Piltdown men-like creatures who the Indians or whatever, the Native Americans came in and took this from. Isn't that the way of the world, Norm? That eventually everybody takes something.
What's a Piltdown, man? You talking about the old days?
I'm sorry to throw you off the scent of the conversation. I'm talking about in Paleolithic times. I assume that the Native Americans were not native here either, but came down and took this from somebody else. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, everybody takes everything. Listen, Mother Nature is a brutal bitch.
Mm-hmm.
A red-clawed,
paint the picture.
Machine that eats and
shrieking harridan.
Yeah.
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
So, Jenny, what month was your issue?
Quoting Churchill.
May of 08. Who was on the cover? Do you remember?
It was a Russian girl.
Uh-oh.
And my nickname's Genocide, so I think that was kind of funny.
What?
What? What do you mean?
Is Genocide giving her comedy fucking advice?
Why is that? It's funny because there was a genocide.
In Russia?
Only about 70 years ago.
Against the Russian people.
Who still lives? But me. That's not
You
a
first.
Huh?
Check it back. No, it was
the
it wasn't a complete genocide.
What do you mean?
No, it was.
Well, Stalin was a mass murderer.
Only Jewish people seem to get really offended by my nickname.
There are fives in a case.
Dave's getting bored.
Right,
Well,
because they're the only ones that live.
Well, the only
through
true
a
genocide was the. Well, I don't want to say
another one this way, Sam.
That was a true genocide.
Wow. What?
The American Indians was a true genocide.
No, that was for land.
No, that was justified.
That was for land. We were taking their property.
No, it doesn't matter. What does it matter what the motive?
No,
is?
the genocide.
Yeah, the motive
against
is
the
to
Indians.
just
It was
hatred of a race to exterminate them
It was
without a
just- it was
political or economic
justifiable
agenda.
What we did with the Indians.
Well, it's not
No,
justifiable.
well, who's saying it's justified?
I said it. Well,
Just we got to bury them.
I'm just wondering how it's justified.
Point counterpoint.
You've never
I'm trying to
heard,
take another
you've never heard the legal term justifiable genocide? Hitler was out of his mind at the time. Clearly insane. Oh, I know what you're excited about.
Yeah. 1 week.
One week until
to go.
what?
Till my 1 year of sobriety.
Yeah, he is an alcoholic.
Yeah.
There's no shame in it.
No.
But but the good thing about it is you've been sober for almost a year.
Yeah.
And in 1 week you get a chip.
Yep.
It's an amazing fact that you've kept sober, because I understand people go back to the booze when they have trouble with that.
It's tough. Thank you for noticing. It is tough.
We work hard, but
it's exhausting work, but we try and have fun. We keep it light. Like last night, Brent and I pulled that prank on you.
Oh yeah, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, well, it was a little funny.
Not funny at all.
I beg to differ. We have video.
Beg to differ is a thing that mostly gay men say.
I think it was a hilarious prank.
It was a stupid prank.
It was funny.
The classic. He's going to put the shaving cream on his hand now. And now I'm going to go in with the feather.
Yeah, you swallow that, you fucker. You drink that down. You don't fucking spit that out. Yeah, you like it, you fucker. Drink it. Fucking swallow that.
Fuck? Week away, no?
Huh?
I was a week away.
What about you and your stupid fucking shaving freak, fucker? You think I like the taste of Anyway, there's more. We got more video of you. What is this? This is you.
4! I gotta call my sponsor.
We got a sponsor?
No. My sponsor, Argus Hamilton.
Oh, that's guy. Your sponsor.
Yeah, my sponsor. Fuck that. Is there any more of that vodka left?
No, you don't want vodka. Come on, man. One day at a time.
Oh, fuck that shit.
One
It's too late
day.
for that.
I don't know. Do you think it's cocaine?
Yep.
Well, you're partly right. It's cocaine, and it's there's also a lot of baby laxative. So you might watch it. It burns like hell.
Just give me a couple.
What we really liked was making the audience laugh when they didn't want to.
Please note that the percentages in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman.
And then the audience semi-laughs and semi-boos, and then Norm goes,
For those of you hissing at that joke, it should be noted that that joke was written by a woman. So now you don't know what the hell to do, do you?
huh? And then they laugh at that, and then he goes,
No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women.
I want to give a quick shout out to two people who, in my opinion, are the unsung heroes of the Norm MacDonald story. Two people that meant a lot to Norm and were really there for him in pivotal moments. One is Jim Downey, who, for my money, the best, pound for pound, the best comedy mind that I've ever encountered. Head writer at Saturday Night Live for many years, wrote for David Letterman, just an absolutely brilliant man. I worked for him at Saturday Night Live, and he was the one that really worked with Norm on Update, and for that just incredibly classic period of Weekend Update at Saturday Night Live. So a shout out to Jim Downey, and I'm thinking about him because Norm so loved him and admired him.
we want it to be like a punk segment, sort of like what The Clash was doing in the 70s, where it was just very bare bones and no cuteness.
So it wasn't a studio crowd pleasing effect. It was never aimed at the studio audience. You know, it was always aimed just directly at me. I just what I knew was funny.
Don didn't want Norm doing Update anymore.
You know, I want it to stop raining. You know, I mean, I didn't take it as any more than that.
They pretended to believe that it was going to be an enormously popular decision for which the public would thank them. And in fact, the unanimity of the TV critics was something to see. I remember Time magazine had a thing about it and even printed up a little postcard to send to NBC to dump on them.
The smartest cat I ever knew at SNL, and a much revered figure there, is joining us for another segment. This is my former producer, longtime writer and contributor, Jim Downey. Jim, I had Norm on the show yesterday. I always thought Norm, from the first second I saw him, was just a flat-out misanthropic genius. I always gave him a wide berth as far as time schedules and that, because I just said, well, I'm going to grab Amadeus and tell him he has to be here to do busy work. You know what I mean? That isn't going to happen. So I think he's a genius. What was it like to work with him on Update?
Well, he is a genius and the most fearless performer. He likes people to laugh at his stuff. He enjoys that, but it's sort of one of like, half a dozen important aspects of what he does. Mm-hmm. So that if he really loves a joke or a bit, he will happily go out there and do it, whatever the response is. And there was if you want to hear a story,
I love me a Norm story.
One time we were in the office doing Update stuff, and there'd been a news item about there was going to be a newspaper for the homeless, and so we were thinking about doing some of that. So we started improvising. It was more of a scene, not something we could do on the segment, but it was like a tough kind of Perry White kind of editor going like, "You, Miller, I want 500 words on going to the bathroom in your pants. You, Immel, give me something. Give me a human interest thing on urine stain back. You, was that kind of thing. Yeah. And like a lot of like photos, maybe some, a little human side, what are, pets, that kind of thing. And so nothing came of it, and I sort of forgot we had the conversation. And then the first meeting we have after the summer, Norm comes in and goes, hey, Downey, remember that, that thing we were talking about there with the, remember that thing with the newspaper for the homeless, that thing, the homeless newspaper? And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, I was out in L.A. and I was asked to do this benefit, for the coalition to feed the homeless, and I'm going, no. And he goes, yeah, I did that bit, They hated it. Hated it.
All right, you tell me now. That's the Andy Kaufman part of the joke, or is he actually surprised that they hated it? That's what I can't quite figure with Look.
I know.
Jimmy calls in here periodically and says that he has bought a puppet and he wants to work material out on the show. And I'll say, well, tell me about the puppet. And it's an old man puppet who's a Holocaust denier. And it's obviously just Norm sitting at home talking as Norm. He makes no pretension to a puppet voice.
I know.
And I think he's Andy. I don't know. I view a lot of Andy Kaufman in there. It's just
he also would like to, one of the things that he would really enjoy just getting into a character, and then you could not get him out of it. Like he liked doing old man stuff,
yes,
like being an old geezer and complaining about aches and pains and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, Norm, now seriously, now we actually have to talk about it. He'd start doing stuff about rheumatism and things like that, and you just had to plead with him to just stop. But he was on his own kind of set of rhythms.
The speed with which he would take his sport coat off at the end of his Letterman impression always I would watch the thing just to watch, because Letterman's so ill at ease with show business, always makes this conscious show of getting rid of the sport coat at the end of the show. And when Norm picked up on that and did that as impression, God, I fell out. Hey, I have to ask you about it, the real Andy Kaufman real quickly. What were you hip to him before he comes in, or what's that?
Well, I had not. He had been on a couple of times the first season, and I had missed most of the first season, so I didn't really get to meet him until year two. But he, there was one time I was flying back from visiting my family in the Midwest, and I arrive at Newark airport, at like midnight because the flight was delayed, and I don't know why, but in those days I guess it was too cheap or something, but I decided to take the bus into the Port Authority, and I get on the bus, and there's a solitary figure in the back in a brown hoodie, and it was Andy Kaufman. So we went back to that was where we sort of bonded on that bus trip from New York Airport. So he used to come by the office and ask if anyone wanted to go see kung fu movies in Times Square. That was when Times Square had virtually nothing but kung fu movies.
Right.
And so I went a couple times with Mr. Kaufman, and he was like just a fascinating person to be around. He quite. He loved those movies and could discuss them like a completely normal person. But when he wanted to get into his thing, he was as unshakable as Norm,
Yeah. Folks, I know that SNL over the last 35 years has become the cultural place where young people hang their hat. And if it does you any good in a world where people seem to get misappropriated power or misappropriated wealth, to know that the finest man I ever met there was right at the center of it for over 3 decades should do all our hearts well. Jimbo, I love you.
Love you right back.
All right. We'll talk at you down the road. That is the great Jim.
Feelings flowing up and down, picking up the pieces that you left behind, hitting a new type of flow, breathing in the smoke and clearing up my mind. The thoughts of you, I never knew what the hell you got me into.
I do. I think that men are much more interested as generally speaking, in comedy, and it's the norm is more guys trying to make girls laugh than the reverse, right? So I mean, I think that's why men tend to predominate in comedy. But there's always plenty of openings for.
Who is a great woman writer? Name 5 great women writers on Saturday Night Live.
I would say right now we have Paula Pell, who's great. We have.
Hey, you want to take a call from Joel?
Wait a minute,
in Kansas
you're
City? No, I don't want to embarrass you. You're having trouble getting past 1.
I'm not. Norm, you cut me off when I was naming my favorite women writers. I didn't get to say Emily Spivey, who's there right now, who's a genius.
You're just naming people that are
Pam
on this.
Norris. No, Pam Norris was a writer like 20 years ago.
Okay, keep going. That's 3. Okay, go.
Rosie Schuster.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's 4.
Tina Fey is a great writer, but I think of her now as a performer. But she's a very good writer.
Well, that's 5.
That's
you did
5.
it, Jim. You did it. You did it.
Oh, I could go on and on.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's do 10 then.
Let's because then I'm just going to piss off people I don't name.
All right, Jim. We'll take a break and we'll let you collect your thoughts. Who is the funniest guy ever on Saturday Night Live?
Man, I prefer to say that there's like a group of like 10 people who it's hard to find because it's.
Is it Paula Pell or?
Well, she's not a performer on the show, but
no, but I mean just in the room. No.
You mean the fun? Well, I always thought that Norm, you were one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Certainly,
No,
I can't think of. Like
Bill Murray?
Someone like David Spade is hilarious.
He's unbelievably funny, but I meant, he's probably the funniest guy in real life. But I'm saying as a sketch performer.
As a sketch performer, I mean, the list would, and I don't know how to pick from among it, but it would have to include Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, Dana Carvey, Will Ferrell. I think there's
so you
a
didn't
lot
like Belushi then?
Well, I don't know that I wouldn't put John at the first tier. That's all I'm saying. I'd put him like second team.
Because just like
because otherwise this first team's going to have way too many guys, and they won't get playing time, and they'll be unhappy.
That's interesting. You didn't mention a woman.
Oh, I thought you said the funniest guys. I was going to say the women next.
I said the funniest performers.
Okay, well, see, I hate women. You got it out of me. Still, I think that also I'd say the women we have now. I mean, I don't know how you'd pick among Maya Rudolph and Amy Poehler and Kristen Wiig. I mean,
I think you'd choose Gilda Radner, wouldn't you?
Well, I love Gilda Radner, and I think she was really funny. again, okay, she's on the first team. She made the first team.
Sweet, Jim.
But and then I better think of the ones I knew. Well, Jan Hooks was great. You know.
Yeah. Okay, we know you like girls.